Welcome into Concord, North Carolina for a battle of 49 here on senior night. This matchup has the 1A, 2A Yadkin Valley Conference champions, the Mount Pleasant Tigers, 8-1 on the season, traveling to J.M. Robinson High School, the home of the Bulldogs, the four-time defending 3A South Piedmont Conference champions, senior night. Perfect on the season, 9-0. Mark Plemmons, James Melick here with you. Mark, these two teams used to be in the same conference back when Robinson was in the 2A, but Robinson now has made that jump up to the 3A. But they continue this rivalry game between these two schools, and it's always a pretty good battle between these two, but I think there's one school this year that might have that upper hand.
Well, J.M. Robinson coming into last week's game had scored more than 40 points in every game and had not given up more than one score. They win last week 20 to 10 against Northwest Cabarrus, and that basically sealed the conference championship. J.M. Robinson coming into last week's game had scored more than 40 points in every game and had Yadkin Valley a couple of years more than one score. And really, one of the straws that broke the back. They were playing South Stanley. 20-10 against the 1A part of that basic conference. And they basically brought up all their kids J.M. Robinson for a senior night for the JV team. They brought up their team really from South Stanley to the JV, trying to beat Robinson's JV team because they knew they wouldn't beat varsity. And then after the JV games, call and cancel the varsity game, which was supposed to be the Robinson senior night, and say we don't have enough players to play you safely on Friday night.
Wow,
that was one of the straws that broke the camel's back. Robinson was like a fish out of water in that league, so they move up into the 3A. The varsity game, which was fairly rare, Robinson senior night grant to move up in the division. Say we don't have enough players to play. Usually that they keep you in that division. There's been times that was one of the Central Cabarrus, particularly Central Cabarrus, has been in a league where they have maybe 1,400 students, and they're playing against teams that had as many as 3,500 students. And they got no dispensation. They got no. So it tells you how rare it is.
Yeah, and then you talk about them moving up to that 3A class. We look at where they're ranked at here.
Particularly
they're
Central
ranked number 25 in the state of North Carolina. They are number 5 in the 3A class.
They're playing against teams that had as many as 35.
Basically, the best way to relate them to a move up this class is the jump that Weddington made just a couple of years ago. Weddington went up from that 3A spot to the 4A spot, already fighting for state championships, and that's what it looks like Robinson's doing as well. They made that jump from 2A to 3A, and they didn't miss a beat. They just kept right on clicking.
Well, growth in the school district helps with that. They had plenty enough students to be rare. And then
already fighting for state
having a successful program.
That's what it looks like Robinson's doing as well. They made that jump from 2A to 3A.
This should be an interesting game. I don't know how growth in the school district. I would say Mount Pleasant's a 2-touchdown underdog.
I could agree with you on that one.
But you never know. And nothing really on the line. We saw one of the players for J.M. Robinson, one of their seniors, in a boot, so obviously he's not going to play.
Xavier Barnett.
So you don't want to. I would say you don't want to risk a lot in a game like that, but of course you want to keep that undefeated season.
Yeah, and you bring that up there that you think they're probably a 2-touchdown dog here, Mount Pleasant. We look at the common opponents between these two schools. They've both played 4 schools that are common. The only loss coming to Mount Pleasant, their loss was to Northwest Cabarrus, where they lost 16-14 in a heartbreaker there to Northwest. And Robinson just played them last week and only won by 10. So this could turn out to be a real battle at the end, but you definitely think that Robinson's got the upper hand, and 2 touchdowns would probably be a fair estimate.
Well, when I talked to the Mount Pleasant people, they're very disappointed that they lost Northwest Cabarrus because they felt like they should have won that one.
I agree. I thought they should have won that game as well. Last week, though, they showed up at North Stanley, and they put on a show, 49-27. Tight game there in the first half, and all of a sudden, it just flipped the light switch. Coach Crosby did something. They played ball.
Midway through the second quarter, things just turned in favor of the Tigers last week to clinch the Yadkin Valley, and that's their last conference game. So tonight North Stanley is playing Albemarle, and of course they would have had to beat Albemarle to get some help if they beat the Tigers last week. Midway through the second quarter, things just turned in favor of the Tigers last Robinson, week. There's not much on the line except pride and a little bit of ranking. When I talked to Coach Daniel Crosby after the game at North Stanley last week, he said, it gives us a chance to play a team that could be competing for the state championship.
Yeah.
He says it gives us that experience. It also, win or lose, it will help the ranking because J.M. Robinson's a higher class and higher rated, so that's going to push them up in those rankings that will help determine the seedings when we gives us a chance to the playoffs, and it won't be next week, it'll be week after next.
Yeah, we got one more week of regular season, pushing the playoffs back 1 week due to the hurricanes and the bad weather we had here back-to-back weeks in North Carolina. So
But the East and the West got hit not quite as hard in the East this time as it was in the West. They're still recovering, though, from hurricanes and tropical storms that hit the East 5-6 years ago.
Yep, and it's the same way out west from multiple Carolina, so said there.
But the East and the West got hit.
You talked about how they're ranked in this class. Mount Pleasant's ranked 19th in the 2A class. So,
and I think that's really low.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they should be somewhere probably closer to top 10. But, that's rankings are hard to argue with because the people who make the rankings and how they're determined typically don't see everybody really low.
No.
They don't see everybody play. They compare teams that maybe they have played and who they play against, who is traditionally a pretty good team. If you played Shelby, for example, and you beat Shelby, even if it was the worst Shelby team in history, typically voters in the East and voters in the West, that's Shelby's always good, so they'll vote that up. As far as those rankings and of course these rankings are computer generated as well.
And you bring up Shelby there, Mark.
Shelby, for example.
Shelby in action tonight against Burns, both 7-2. So a big matchup at Burns tonight between those two schools with Shelby. So Shelby's going to have their hands full. We've got about a minute 45 left here. We look down, the honor guard out on the field here at Robinson High School. So we should be just right around the corner from the national anthem here in action tonight. Robinson on senior night. So a big matchup at Burns tonight. The honor guard now moving Shelby to the field. Not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is if they're going to forget the national anthem. We had a long senior day recognition here.
Yeah, they have probably 60 to 65 students out there, Mark.
I think I heard the number was bet more than 50.
That's a lot of students, but
I'm not sure what
it's great that they all get honored and get represented.
I think the band is coming out to play the national anthem, so the color guard's going to figure out where they're going to go once they figure out where the band is.
That'll give me a quick second. Do you mind, Mark, if I just run through the
jump through there.
Perfect. I'll run through these quick games and the big ones we have this week. The team we got to see earlier a couple of weeks ago, Lake Norman in action against Warville tonight. That's always a good matchup between Lake Norman and Warville. We got 72 Sun Valley and 5-4 Porter Ridge. We have a crew with John Von Cannon himself over at Concord for the A.L. Brown and Concord matchup. Prepare 4 and 5 for the Victory Bell. We got Central Cabarrus and Northwest Cabarrus in action at Northwest. Statesville Hickory, 8-1 and 9-0 in that matchup. Sun Valley 5. Battle out in the land of football. Scotland and Richmond in action. Those two teams, A.L. Brown, Concord for the height for the year. Scotland 5-4 with Victory Bell. 2. You got Central Cabarrus and got Kings Mountain and Crest in action. Shelby Burns. Another conference matchup here. You have Union Academy 5 in that matchup. South Stanley. Battle out matchup. We have up towards the Piedmont area. You have West Forsyth and East Forsyth. Northwest Guilford and Grimsley, a pair of unbeaten. The matchup we have here tonight, the best one we have down in the area, the Mount Pleasant Tigers and the Robinson Bulldogs. Another matchup for the Battle of of 49. As the captains walk out on the field, they walk back out to our right.
They're going to meet at the 30.
We'll look and see if we can get some captains' numbers there real quick.
Mount's got those gold numbers. If you were with us last week, you'll know that I struggled particularly hard trying to read Mount Pleasant numbers. Yeah, that's Andrew Vasquez. They're going to meet your linebackers. Number 12 is Tyler Klutz. I believe that is 8. Mount's got those gold numbers. These are J.M. Robinson captains. And looks like number 12. We already called Tyler Klutz.
Maybe 2. One in the middle there with the jersey rolled up at 2.
And that looks like Jamarcus Hunter. Vasquez. They're going to see Tigers in white across the way. We Tyler Klutz. I can't even see numbers, let alone read the numbers. Gold on white again. Robinson's got those dark, black uniforms.
Black uniforms, gold numbers.
And that looks like Jamarcus Hunter. And they're pretty easy to read if there's not bunched up like number 2's is. Tyler Klutz. I couldn't
catch any of the jersey numbers.
Mount Pleasant won the toss, sells fur. Robinson's got those dark,
black uniforms as they shake hands there at the 30. I see a 53, 52.
Yeah, 53. That's not bunched. Jared number 2's is Reschel.
13, Jacob Regal's out there. I did catch that number, and that's the only one I was able to catch as well there, Mark.
Robinson's got those dark. We'll have a little bit better idea because we know who plays what positions generally from Mount Pleasant on offense and some of the defensive players.
As the band is setting up to play the national anthem, we will turn the mic over so you guys can hear the national anthem played by the pride of the Robinson Bulldogs.
Robinson's got those dark. We'll have a little bit better idea because we know who plays what positions generally from Mount Pleasant on offense and some of the defensive players.
The band is setting up to play the national anthem. We will turn the mic over so you guys can hear the national anthem played by the pride of the Robinson Bulldogs.
We'll have a little bit better idea because
Second Lieutenant Gianella Chiraboga and guarding the colors are Cadet Major Josiah Ocampo and Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Maria Green. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by the award-winning Pride of Robinson.
A beautiful rendition of the national anthem here with the pride of Robinson Bulldogs marching band. They also were recognized on senior night here at Robinson High School as they were able to get the national anthem pregame. That's amazing. You get to go out there to the national anthem, senior night. What better than that, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, here in the shadow of Lowe's Motor Speedway, and as the students call it, Mount Trashmore, the mountain that you see behind the Mount Pleasant stands there, is the BFI landfill, Speedway landfill, and I like to call it Mount Bruton.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's Bruton Smith.
That's pretty much what it is.
It hadn't been able to get it to catch on, but Mount Trashmore seems to have gotten it. It's not a bad day today. We don't have the wind blowing the wrong way.
No, we don't.
And they've moved a little bit farther away from us here, so we're not stacking trash right in the shadow of the stadium anymore.
That is correct, and it's funny you bring that up. Tonight here in North Carolina and this weekend they have the short track world finals for the dirt guys over there, which is the local guys and the smaller teams with a little bit less budget. They're over there racing over there this weekend, and the next weekend here in Charlotte they have the World of Outlaw World Finals here in Charlotte. So the next couple of weeks here in Charlotte going to be busy, or Concord, Charlotte, in that area.
Yeah,
going to be busy.
Yeah, it's Concord over to on the pretty good, a few feet over across the other side of the Speedway. It's all Concord.
Yep.
And here comes the Bulldogs down through the stands. You see the fans are picking up their cell phones and getting ready to get a picture of, or a video of the Bulldogs as they come through the stands.
It won't be the last time these Bulldogs get to come through the stands, Mark.
No, they'll get at least a couple of home playoff games if they keep winning. Meanwhile, the Tigers are running to their sideline across the way.
And with the Bulldogs knowing they're going to be hosting and at least getting to do this entrance a couple more times, it still means a lot getting to do this. The parents want to get the videos as much as they can because these are going to be great memories you're going to look back on as a kid or when you get older and say, hey, man, I got to do that at Robinson, and it was awesome. As the Bulldogs come through the bleachers to the stands, now jog to their respected end zone and wait inside the tunnel for their entrance out onto the field here. And I didn't get it, Mark. I'm going to see if I can get on there right now. One thing I forgot to get in my game prep was who won this game last year and what the score was.
I didn't see the score. Robinson won the game last year.
Yep.
It's been a while since Mount Pleasant beat Robinson. It may go back several years.
I think it goes back a while.
Yeah, before they were in the same conference, they played typically one of the first 2 or 3 games of the season when it was non-conference play. And, of course, when they switched conferences, this had been slotted into that final game of the season for the conference because they tried to get the best rivalries on those weeks. So, for example, we told you North Stanley and Albemarle, and, of course, Mount Pleasant and J.M. Robinson would be the Yadkin Valley when they were there.
In the final last year, Mark, the score 49-7. The Robinson Bulldogs with the win last year over the Mount Pleasant Tigers.
Mount Pleasant's got a better team this year than they did a year ago.
Yes, they do. Coach Daniel Crosby has built a really good team over the offseason at Larry Honeycutt Field and Michael John Stadium. As we have an update already on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there. Concord on top of A.L. Brown early in the Battle of the Victory Bell. That game being played at Concord tonight.
Yeah, over at Robert C. Bailey Stadium, Coach E.Z. Smith Field, and Spiders jump out to a quick 7-0 lead as John Von Cannon texted that score to us. Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery. That's one of our sponsors, Carolina Pizza Huts, the Southern Christmas Show by the Carolina Renaissance Festival, also brought to you by the Independent Tribune, BenMinott.com, Wilkinson Funeral Home, and again, those are folks that bring you this football game and our broadcast throughout the season.
Dominique Testa back deep to receive for the Bulldogs. It will be kicking off from left to right. Mount Pleasant will. Robinson will be working from right to left here to start the ball game. We have 12 minutes on the clock. The battle of 49 moments away from getting underway here in Concord.
I believe it's Sellers to kick off.
Seller, a directional kick left. It'll be fielded near the 30. They'll work down the left hash, far side of the field. Still on his feet, now working towards the middle. Not too much forward progress and drove backwards and stopped around the 35. They'll mark it at the 37. I couldn't tell who caught that ball over there, Mark.
Yeah, one of the up backs catches it. Maybe number 3. Is that a 3 or is that a 2?
Looks like maybe a 3, so Ricky Torres.
So 37-yard line's where they're going to put it into play. You've seen the Bulldogs already this season. I've only seen them on film, just a few highlights here and there.
Yeah, I've seen them 2 or 3 times this year. A very diverse defense. They can run it. They can pass it. They can do everything that's needed. They have an awesome receiver in Brian Rowe and Dominique Testa. 10 touchdowns both on the season. Rowe averaging 71 yards a game as they shift a man in motion from right to left. This time they hand it off to the back, who goes right up the middle of L.J. Watson. Watson makes a man miss, still on his feet. Little shuffle step there, and he'll get it up to the 50, and he'll be enough for the first down as he moves it up right to the 50-yard line. And a good run from L.J. Watson.
Coach Jason Seidel likes to get his players in space, get things moving around. We'll see some of the receivers, they'll come in formation or in motion.
Quick snap, they go back to Tesla again, or not Tesla again. They go back to the running back there of Watson, and he goes up the middle, and he got a couple.
Both these teams have big offensive lines and defensive lines, so up front it's a big, big battle.
Testa was lined up as the wing back there on the left side last play. Now he'll shift out into the right side into the flat, so they'll put 2 right, 1 left. Brian Rowe, the man down here near side, working right to left on the left hash. They have Watson lined up to the right side of his quarterback, John Bissonette. He gets it, fakes the handoff. He'll toss it out into the flat. Going to be caught by Tyler Klutz, who fights forward across the numbers, and he's short of the 40 at the 43.
Yeah, they want to get Klutz in space. They want to get, Testa. They want to get Rowe. These guys, put them in one-on-one situations where if they can beat that one man, then it's going to make it difficult for the defense. And they've been very successful the last 2 to 3 years doing exactly that. Cameron
Chardy for the Mount Pleasant Tigers, number 3, going to have his hands full tonight with Brian Rowe, the Division I recruit to South Carolina. As they're lined up at the bottom here, they do a little bit of shifting there. Now they get everybody kind of where they want them, and they'll move it over to trips to the right, 1 to the left here, as Bissonette calls for it, gets it, gives the handoff to his back, who works right of Testa, who works there, finds a little hole, and he'll fight it forward and move the chains up to the that's the 36.
Yeah, the little bunch set, it's a good running formation because you spread the defense out, and then they all come over there, and the wideouts can block out of that little bunch. You can also pass out of that. We're seeing kind of stack the receivers on the outside on both sides this time.
As Bissonette calls for it, gets it, gives it to Watson. He works right, keeps it in between the tackles, and runs into a host of Tigers there after a pickup of about 3 as they pushed him backwards. And it looks like the first one there was number 41 from Mount Pleasant, Walker Wyatt.
I know Walker Wyatt, a young man, moved to linebacker. He'd been a quarterback in middle school.
So a pickup of 2 there on first down, moves the ball up to the 37-yard line. They put 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They shift the slot man in motion from right to the left side. They go right up the middle with the carry. They'll pick up about 3 there. And I didn't catch the jersey number before he got that ball and dove off into the pile.
Looks like it's at 26.
That's going to be the freshman there.
Running back.
It's going to be Ennis Styles with the carry.
They got split backs. You got a 3rd down. You don't have to make it all here. You're in 4-down territory, but you've got a kicker who can kick it from this distance. They just don't usually choose to.
They cleared the backfield after the split backs, put trips left, 2 right. Bissonette set to throw, goes into the flat to Rowe, and that off his left hand and falls incomplete. His first target of the day, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6 here, and you're in no man's land. Clock stop with 8:23. They're going for it.
Bissonette put a little bit too much mustard on that one, but Rowe will tell you he should catch that ball every time, and if he does, he's got more than enough for the first down.
So they'll line up here for this 4th down play, being in the middle of nowhere, with the ball at the ball at the Mount Pleasant 37. They shift the running back of Watson from left to right. They put trips left, 1 right. Rowe at the bottom on the left hash. Man-oh-man covered outside. They now shift Watson back from the right side to the left. Bissonette calls for it, gets it, rolls to his right, pitches it to Watson. He's on the left hash fighting forward up to the 30, and he's short. And you look to the far side of the field, and you see the excitement in head coach Daniel Crosby.
Mount Pleasant gets a win on the first defensive series. They gave up a couple of first downs, but they did not give up a score, and they're going to get decent field position out around the 30-yard line to start their first offensive possession.
And if you're head coach Daniel Crosby, the excitement from the far sideline deserved that one. You made a big stop against this team of the Bulldogs, who are a very powerful offense. You make a stop, stall them out at the 30-yard line, and that's where you get the ball with good field position.
Yeah, we'll see Mount Pleasant do a lot of motion. They do a lot of jet motion, some orbiting motion, and they'll instead run it straight ahead.
They give this to Regal, who works left, and he'll pick up 1 there on the first down carry from the handoff by their junior quarterback of Colin Black.
We saw Regal play quarterback one game this year when Black was not available, and Regal did a pretty good job running out of the quarterback position.
Yes, he did. As they also have an awesome wide receiver who's an athlete, and Ethan Dempsey does kick returns. Wide receiver can also run it out of the backfield, so watch out for 25.
Now he's split out to the left side, the outside receiver just inside the numbers.
So they'll have trips left, wing back right, 1 to the right. There's the snap. They give it to the ball carrier who works left of Aiden Smith, and he goes backwards. And he'll lose yardage there, and they'll mark him out at the, looks like the 27.
Yeah, you get never really able to turn upfield. They got enough penetration where he had to kind of circle back to try to get the corner turn. Did not get the corner turn, and that's a good job for the defensive line, just pushing their guys back into the backfield.
It's going to make it a 3rd down and 13 here after the loss of 4 on 2nd down. They shift everybody from right to left. Wing back lined up on the right. They shift a man in motion. They hand this one off this time to Regal. Regal tries to turn the corner. Not much happening for him, and he'll get it up to the 29 before being brought down. And the punting unit trots out there for the Tigers.
I think that may have been Dempsey. On that little orbit. They send him in orbit. I mean, by that I mean he comes arcing into the backfield. He winds up, by the time the ball snapped, just about in the backfield. But he's got a full head of steam up, running back toward. He's just getting ready to turn back toward the line of scrimmage when you snap the ball.
Yeah, tough to see the jersey number still again tonight. We thought it might be a little easier with the brighter lights here.
Yeah, it's definitely brighter than it was at North Stanley. The lights are a little bit higher, I believe.
There is the kick off the foot of Sellers. It'll go towards Rowe, but it goes out of bounds, so no play from Rowe. The official spots it at the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that's where they'll take over with good field position here for their second drive with 6:12 left. Score still 0-0 here in the Battle of 49.
Well, with the exchange of possessions, the last starting field position was about the 37, 38-yard line for Robinson. When they get the ball back this time, it's the 45, so they've kind of gained a little bit.
And it could turn out to be a battle of field position in this game here, Mark, with these two teams that have good defenses. They'll put 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They hand it off to the freshman running back there of Styles, who works right, finds a hole. He's at the 40. Got blockers in front. They grab from behind, but he's inside the Pizza Hut red zone before drugged down at the 18. No, they're going to say he's all the way up at the 16.
And I think it may have been Dempsey that finally caught up to him from his defensive back spot.
And a good run from Styles as that freshman just turned the jets on and shot up field working to the right side.
Yeah, how you like that from a freshman?
A lot of talent there and a bright future for him, and I'm sure head coach Jason Seidel loves it.
Well, we were talking before we came on the air about how many players that J.M. Robinson would lose, and I said, well, you got some young guys out on that team that may be taking some spots next year.
There is the snap. They keep it in the quarterback's hands, who runs forward and fights for it. That one's going to be John Bissonette before being brought down all the way up at the 8-yard line.
Tigers bid hard on the running back, and Bissonette just pulled it out of his belly, ran straight up the field, and got positive yards. Looks like almost 7 yards.
Pick up a 7 there for Bissonette. Good call by him on that RPO to decide if he was going to, or not RPO,
Just a read option. You
Yep.
get you look and see where that tackle or end is, and if they're coming at the back, you pull it in. If they're staying back, then you get it to the running back.
As they run that one right up the middle with L.J. Watson, and he'll get 1 there and get it up to the 7. Clock continues to run. 5:13 left here. See if they stack the receivers again like they just did on that last play. They did. They are. They're going to stack
They like to
trips.
do that. This is going to be like that super. They'll have 3 receivers on the hash mark, one behind the other. Now, this can be confusing for the defensive backs. You could throw it out to one of those guys for a wide receiver screen, or you can go deep.
And Bissonette had him open, but he did not throw it to Brian Rowe, who made a move on this near side, but just didn't have enough time as he rolled right and it falls incomplete, trying to get it on the far side of the field to Tyler Klutz.
I think if he throws short to the receiver out of that little, I call it the super eye. It's 3 stacks of wide outs.
To Vasquez, who was standing there, he was just sitting there on the screen. Vasquez never moved, and he looked towards Rowe and then rolled to his right and tried to go to Klutz, and it falls to the ground. And it's going to bring up a 4th down here. Only needing 1 yard for the first down. Hand the ball off to Watson, or Styles, who goes up the middle. He's fighting for it.
He didn't get it, I don't think.
I think he's at the line.
I think he's a yard short.
No official signal yet. He looks like he's short from our vantage point.
We are looking at an angle.
And he's short. The Mount Pleasant Tigers make a stop yet again as they're able to stack up the freshman there. So another big stop for the Tigers, this time inside the Pizza Hut red zone. They're able to hold the Bulldogs to a goose egg still on the board with 4:41 left.
Now, the Robinson's passed up opportunities for field goals twice. Once was a long field goal. Once, right there, was a very makeable field goal.
Working left to right here are the Tigers. Ball lined up left hash. They shift the tight end and wing back from left to right. They hand it off to the ball carrier, who goes up the middle, fights forward, and he'll get it out to the 10 before being popped and brought down. That one's going to be Jacob Regal.
Well, it's important for Mount Pleasant to get a first down, maybe a couple of first downs, to try to get some of this field position back. If you don't, your defense comes back out in another pressure-packed situation in the midfield area or even closer to your goal line.
Aiden Smith in there as the running back. They again shift the tight end and wing back from left to right. A receiver each way. They fake the handoff. Set to throw is Colin Black. Looks deep, and he throws it over everybody's head as he was trying to get it to Dempsey near the 40.
Receiver and the quarterback weren't exactly on the same page. Dempsey, I think he made the read to come inside of the defensive back. It looked like Black threw it out to the outside over the top, and just no way Dempsey or the defensive back could get to the ball.
Coverage there by Cameron Tucker, the junior defensive back, who was on Dempsey for coverage. Clock stop 4:04 here. 3rd down and 7 for the Tigers with the ball at their own 10-yard line here.
Tucker's a really good track athlete as well. Loves this new track they've got here.
Put Regal in motion. They show some eye candy there and pitch it off to one of the other ones, which looks like Dempsey. And
got
he
the
fights
first down
forward up to the 20. That's enough for the first down from Ethan Dempsey as they brought Dempsey out of the slot position, moved the eye candy there when they move Regal around, Mark.
Yeah, that's a counterplay that they like to run. They'll run that ball going back the other way as well, but you got everybody flowing to the left, and then Dempsey comes back. He's got blockers coming back opposite side to the right. And, that time it worked very well. They over-pursued, and it turns into a first down.
Again, line up the same way. Trips to the right, wing back left. There is the snap. They run it up the middle with the ball carrier who gets it out to the 22. That's going to be, looks like Regal 13 there. Yes, that is Regal. Again, folks, we apologize. They are wearing gold numbers on white jerseys tonight. Tough to see from our vantage point.
If a coach or a player ever got up here and they looked down to try to figure out who they were, they would, I think they would say, why do we have gold blobs for numbers?
Yep. They'll line up here on 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard run there. They shift Regal in motion. A high snap, but Regal gets it as it hits the hands of the quarterback, Colin Black, but he'll lose a couple yards back to the 22.
They are real fortunate. That hit Colin Black's helmet, and Regal just scoops it off the top of the helmet, cuts it back upfield. Basically a no gain there. So it's 3rd down and about, 7.5, maybe 8.
Yep. I agree. He got lucky there because that bounced right on his helmet. If that had hit off the side, that would have been bouncing around on the ground and playing hot potato. Instead, it goes straight in the air. Regal uses that athleticism and brings it in. But a 3rd down and 7 here. You got to get it all on this play. You're definitely not going to go for on 4th down this deep in your territory. They'll line up the wing back to the left here. They'll put a running back to the right of the quarterback and one wide receiver. They do hand it off here. It goes in the hands, and he fights up to the 26. Still short of the first down, and wait and see who the ball carrier is.
That's that double handoff. We've seen that all season long. You hand off, running off tackle left, and then he hands it to the slot back who comes back to the right. really tight formation. We've seen some teams get spread out by that or over pursue. Robinson's players stayed at home, so it was it was a nice pickup, but not nearly enough for the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down and 4 in a punt formation.
Aiden Smith was the ball carrier there as they kicked this one deep the direction of Brian Rowe, but it bounces out of bounds yet again in his direction, and they mark it all the way back with a good bounce mark all the way to the
he hit a little bit of a spiral, but a low spiral that there's no way that Rowe could come up and get. It hits about the 45-yard line, takes a roll, and then hits the sideline down inside the 35-yard line. So this is the worst starting field position so far for J.M. Robinson. And Mount Pleasant, you got to put that in the win column on that possession. You got a first down, you got a couple more yards, and then you get a good punt. Now it's back in the hands of your defense, but the defense is well past the 50.
And they stepped up and had a good punt there as that one rolls out at the 33. 1:24 left here, first quarter. Working right to left are the Bulldogs lined up left hash. They put trips left, Brian Rowe at the bottom. Watson, the running back. Bisonet takes a snap, fakes it, throws it down the middle. That one's going to fall incomplete as he was trying to get that one to his wide receiver there of Carter Crosby, the senior.
Crosby was kind of they did a little sandwich there. Crosby just ran right between two defenders and really not a good spot to throw the ball. That's a dangerous throw that it could have easily been picked off. And, I mean, if he catches it, he might score, but you throw it up with 3 guys there, and 2 of those guys are white jerseys.
Yes, jogging on a new big man up front, Aiden Black, the junior offensive lineman, trots in there as the lineup trips left. Now they shift a man in motion to Testa. They give the handoff to Watson instead up the middle, and Watson fights up to the 41, and a good run there from Watson.
Yeah, Watson gets that quick first step, makes one good hard cut, and then gets up the field. Again, you got a 3rd down situation.
Both of these teams seen a lot of 3rd down here early in this game. Clock under a minute here in this first quarter. They line up trips to the left, Rowe at the bottom. Watson to the left of his quarterback. Quick throw out into the flat to Rowe at the 40. Across the numbers at the 50. Still on his feet, fighting forward, hit from behind. But he's hit and falling forward inside the 45 up to the 42.
And I think on short yardage like that, you can do that almost every time. There's not many guys who are going to bring Rowe down in that situation unless the throw is just off target or ill-timed.
And a play does not have to be run by the Bulldogs if they don't want to. 30 on the play clock, 25 on the game clock. They're going to run one. They're going to give it to Watson. Watson works left, across the numbers, finds a seam at the 30, turns it upfield, runs out of bounds just short of the 25 at the 27. And another good run there from L.J. Watson.
One of the blockers downfield was making a good block, but when he finished the block off, he put his palm right in the forehead of one of the Tiger defenders. That's not a smart play. You get up, hands around the head, you run the risk of getting a 15. I don't think the official saw it.
Clock stopped at 17 seconds. They go back to Watson. Watson gets it back to the line of scrimmage, trying to work left, and a good tackle up front there.
Yeah, he got gobbled up. Eli Reed, the senior, just fought off his blocker and put a big bear hug on the runner.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter here, Mark, at the Battle of 49 with the score nothing between the Robinson Bulldogs and the Mount Pleasant Tigers. And while we have a quick second here, Mark, we were here a couple of weeks ago, me and Perry were, probably earlier this season, and we talked to one of the people here who Perry knows, and they said they were getting a new scoreboard, and that new scoreboard is up, and I don't know about you, but I like it. I can definitely see it.
It looks good. There's a lot of things you can do with that scoreboard, and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association won't let you do a lot of those things, like play replays and stuff like that. But it certainly looks really good.
See if I can get online and find some updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard here for us, Mark. See if we have anything pouring in for any of the games going on.
Well, as far as this weekend, you got the Carolina Renaissance Festival continuing to go. I understand they have had a lot of demand, good attendance, and pretty good weather every single weekend. And this weekend, go online and look for tickets there for this weekend the renfestinfo.com.
Update in the Battle of the Victory Bell. Concord leads that one 14-0 second quarter. And Hickory Ridge on top of West Cabarrus trying to get their first win of the season, 7-0 right now in that one. We'll have some more updates from our Canyon Pharmacy scoreboard here in a moment, but we're back to action here. A low snap to Bizanet, who's able to dig it up. He now throws down the middle of the field towards Dominique Testa, popped in the air and going to fall incomplete, and good coverage there by a Tiger. I can't see who it is. That might be Dempsey on the coverage there.
I think it is Dempsey. Dempsey read the ball like a receiver and got hands on the ball. He probably had a better shot of catching that than the receiver.
Last week was a whole lot easier to identify Ethan Dempsey with the white socks and the, or not the white socks.
Yeah, he had a pink sleeve and pink socks.
Yep, a whole lot easier tonight. No longer breast cancer awareness as we've rolled into November now.
Now he does have a white arm sleeve on the left sleeve, but we've got a couple other players with those sleeves as well.
So this will bring up a 3rd down and 10 here with the ball at the 27 of Mount Pleasant, working off the left hash. They'll put 2 receivers to the right, whistles on the field, and a timeout called by head coach Jason Seidel.
Yeah, they want to make sure they've got what they want. Right now, where you're at, if you kick the field goal, you're looking at 44 yards. They've got a 40. Kicker who can kick it there. Now the question is operation. Can you make the snap in the spot? But their kicker certainly, yeah, he's got plenty enough leg to get it on there, probably out close to 50 yards.
He does have a leg for sure. We've got to see a lot of talented kickers come out of this state here, Mark. We've got to see Mitch Jeter, who came out of the Salisbury area, and then the one that just came out of Huff. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, set all kinds of national records.
Yes, he did. Had the most points scored in high school football, all kinds of stuff. That young man, as he went on to kick at the next level as well. I just can't drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I can see, I can picture him, as we've been out there a couple times at Huff to saw him.
Yep. The only reason Mitch Jeter came right to my mind instantly is he plays for Notre Dame, and I've watched a couple of Notre Dame games. As they'll line up 2 to the right, 1 to the left, shift the man in left in motion, which is Rowe. Rowe catches it on the toss pass, works across the numbers near side of the 20, and he'll get inside the Pizza Hut red zone to the 18.
And he is a yard and a half short.
And now a tough decision here for head coach Jason Seidel.
I think you're going touchdown. That's what they've done pretty much all year. They have not elected to go for field goals in situations like this.
That's what
now, if you get stopped again here, you will have passed up 3 field goal opportunities and, potentially 9 points.
Which would make it a 2-score game, but they're lined up for it here. Mark, offense out on the field. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ball on the right hash. L.J. Watson gets it. Pressure in the backfield. He's hit in the backfield. I don't know that he got it.
And he's within a half yard. I think the Tigers held for a 3rd time.
And the Tigers defense stepping up big in the Pizza Hut red zone and stopping the junior running back of L.J. Watson short again for the 2nd consecutive drive. Short of the 1st down, and the Tigers get it deep in their own territory.
And again, this is a situation where the Tigers want to get a couple 1st downs. Maybe if you can get a big explosive play, change the field position. You see, Robinson was able to move that ball away from their 33-yard line all the way down inside the 20. But over those number of plays that keep everybody in front, at some point you're going to make 1 or 2 plays that aren't optimum, and that's the way you get stops.
And they could happen right here. They have no safety help over the top, so at any point you could expose them and go deep, and they're looking deep. As they went deep on this one, and they went in the direction of, it looks like,
that's 22. Burris, is that
Burris?
Jackson
Yeah.
Burris?
That's Burris, 22.
Yeah, Burris, it looked like you only have single coverage. They had one safety that just kind of chipped in the way, and he got in the way and knocked him off stride.
So yeah,
you can get away with that. In the NFL, they would be throwing that for illegal contact. But when that safety came in and kind of squeezed in on Burris, he kind of bumped him and got him off stride.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. They hand this one off to the running back who works right. Or he's going to be hit and drugged down.
That's a strong one-on-one tackle.
Regal with the carry. He'll be pushed right back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, he lost a couple there. He's all the way back now to the 17-yard line, so
That's
a loss.
Landon Harding, and that is a freshman defensive lineman.
So a loss of 2 on that carry there.
Looking at some of his stacks, he's like the 2nd on the team in sacks coming into today, and he's just a freshman.
Jumbo package here for the Tigers, and they'll hand it off and work it to the right. And a good piece of running, but hit a ton around the 23. It's going to be, is that Regal with the carry?
Looks like. So you're going to have to punt it away without a first down.
Going to have to flip the field here as Brian Rowe and Dominic Testa come out.
Now send in those twin safeties so you can have a better chance to catch it. They have not been able to catch either punt so far for Mount Pleasant.
And Testa played last year over at Hickory Ridge, this year playing with Coach Seidel here at Robinson, and a good punt that goes high in the air. Rowe locates it at the 40, and he catches it on the left hash. He's working near side towards us, turns it across the numbers, and runs up the field, still down the sideline. Jumps back inside across the numbers, makes a man miss. All the way to midfield, working it, and Brian Rowe in there for the 60-yard kick return.
Until that man is out of bounds and the whistle blows, you played a tackle, and the Tigers thought he was going to step out of bounds, and he did not. Just tippy-toed around at about the 50-yard line and took it to the house.
Yeah, Brian Rowe caught that one on the left hash, far side of the field, worked it all the way back near side, ran down the sideline, made two-man miss after he jumped back inside at the near hash and took it in there for a 60-yard punt return with 10:06 here in the second quarter, and the Bulldogs strike first on a special teams play to take the lead.
Yeah, that's a Rise Zabo now to kick.
Zabo, the sophomore here for the Bulldogs. Bisonet, the holder. There's the snap, the place, the kick. It's up, and it is good. The score, 7-0. The Robinson Bulldogs on top of the Mount Pleasant Tigers here with 10:06 left in the first half, and the Mount Pleasant Tigers have been able to step up on defense and hold them, stopped them 3 times. That time the Robinson defense stepped up, made the stop, and Brian Rowe, the Division I South Carolina commit, makes them pay for it as he takes it back 60 yards to the house on the punt return to get this game first score.
Yeah, that's a really that's the biggest play of the ball game. We've had a couple of maybe 15-yard plays, but nothing as big and as exciting as that one.
That was a big play there. That'll spark your defense up because that'll make them want to play against this Tigers offense as they head back out there. And kind of tough to see the numbers on who's receiving. I know last week they had Estevez, Burris, and Dempsey all back deep. It looks like Dempsey's going to be near side because he's got that left arm sleeve, and Estevez probably to the right. Kicking off left to right here are the Bulldogs back to the Tigers. Zebo set to kick this one away. As there is the kick, and a good kick from Zebo that'll come near side towards Dempsey, fielding at the 10. He comes down the right hash, finds a seam, fights forward, still on his feet at the 30, and Dempsey is going to be brought down up at the 32, and another good start for the Tigers.
I believe that's Burris.
Is that Burris? That is
22.
So Burris and Dempsey both wearing sleeves on that arm.
Well, look, Burris has got a big lock of hair coming out the back of his helmet, so we'll try to watch for that.
So I'll have to go with the hair for.
We're gonna tell you all the sportscaster tricks here.
That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to locate the hair because him and Dempsey both wearing that left sleeve. That's all I could see, so I thought it was Dempsey. But
yeah, and you had the 2 on. You could see the 2 of the 20 part, but you couldn't see the 2 of the 22.
If you can't tell, Mark's got better vision than I got, folks.
That's pretty bad, James. that's not a good thing.
There's a snap. They hand this one off, and right up the middle with a huge gaping run is Ethan Dempsey to the 49, and that moves the chains.
And that's a touchdown saving tackle by number 0. We do not have a number 0 on our roster. I don't.
I do not either.
So number 0, we'll try to figure out who that is later.
That moves the chains. The ball now spotted at the Tigers' 49 after the big run from Dempsey, working just off that right tackle.
Shoestring away from 6.
Working right to left. They shift Regal in motion. Regal gets it. He goes right side just off the tackle. and he fights forward into Robinson territory up to the 47.
If Regal just smashes it up in there quick, there's nothing there. He let his blockers work, get just a little bit of a push, and when you got a little bit of push opening that hole, he's able to kind of wiggle his way out for 4 yards.
And that's exactly what that Tiger offensive line's able to do. You just let that play develop, which is when that motion happens, and they get that ball with that full head of steam, and they are pushing them downfield. They again shift Regal from the slot. This time they toss it to the man who is the wing back there of Aiden Smith, who's fighting forward, and he gets it all the way up to the 36, and that'll move the chains.
Again, you got that orbiting motion in the backfield. You got the slot who is set on the opposite side, and he just comes back across the back of the offensive lineman's backside. You toss the ball to him, and he's got a good running room because of the orbiting motion gets everybody's eyes.
Yeah, when they shift that motion, because they just ran that play a moment ago and went to Regal on it, that time they pitched it forward, and Aiden Smith able to get a good chunk of yards there. They'll put 2 to the left. Aiden Smith, your wing back, to the right. Running back lined up to the left is Regal of the quarterback, Colin Black. Black calls for it, gets it, gives it to Regal. Regal works right, slows it up, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
Good job. J.M. Robinson, defensive line, and their outside linebackers. Deshaun Hall Butler is one of the guys who really held that play up. He was able to stack it up, and you see Regal kind of biding his time like we talked before. That time they're not able to make the block, and Hall Butler gets off of it and gets teammates' help.
Yeah,
other guy over there helping is Nick White.
That was a good play by Hall Butler. Like you said, he was able to crash that one as they shift Dempsey in motion from left to right. They give it to Dempsey. He goes right down the right hash, and he runs into a host of Bulldogs at the 35.
Yeah, it looks like Miles Hudson also in on that tackle. Aiden Black.
Big number 70 in there as well.
Yeah, that's Black, and then I think the other guy we talked about a minute ago, Nick White. So they got 3 guys stacking that one up, and 2 runs, 1 yard, 3rd down. You're in 4-down territory here. So if you get half of it, you still got another play to work with. So Mount Pleasant doesn't have to have a 9-yard play. You want to get something, stay positive.
3rd down and 9 with the ball spotted at their 35 of Robinson. Black looks towards the sideline, and a timeout called by head coach Daniel Crosby, their first one of the game. So that leaves both teams with 2 timeouts here in the first half with 6:52 left. Bulldogs lead 7-0 here in the Battle of 49.
Let's look at our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. John Von Cannon's given us another update there. It looks like A.L. Brown has come back from a 14-0 deficit to tie at 14-14. Looks like John said there was a questionable call on a fumble that went against the Spiders, and that allowed the Wonders to get that tying touchdown. So 14-14 at the Battle of the Belt. Here between the Tigers and the Bulldogs in the shadow of Charlotte Motor Speedway, 7-0 on a punt return of about 60 yards by Brian Rowe. That's all the scoring, 7-0 J.M. Robinson.
How about this update on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark? Butler, 4-5, Independence 8-1, second quarter, tie ball game at 13.
Interesting ball game.
Mooresville, Lake Norman, second quarter, tied at 7. A good battle in Mooresville tonight as well. Mallard Creek all over Chambers, 15-0 second quarter of that one.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody going to that game. They did not think Chambers would stay with Mallard Creek.
I didn't think they quite had the talent this year to do it. As they got a stacked left side of the field, they toss it to Dempsey, who came out of the slot position. He fights forward, and he'll pick up a couple, get it up to the 33, and not enough for the first down. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 5 here, and a tough decision for Coach Crosby.
No, I think there's no question here. You're at the 33. Your kicker can't kick a field goal from here. It'd be a 50-yarder. You punt. All likelihood, you're going to punt it either into the end zone, bring it back out to the 20, and only net 13 yards. Or worst case, they catch it about the 10 and come running back up the field. So,
and Rose already
take your chances here. See if you can get something going, and you're still not going to give up great field position to Robinson if you don't make it.
Wing back and tight end shift from right to left. And the quarterback absolutely got buried, and it popped out, but they're going to say he's down. As Colin Black got absolutely buried there before he could get rid of that football. Was that number 4 who came in on the blitz?
45, I believe, and that looks like Makai Bond coming off the defensive line. Also out there to scoop that ball, Aiden Black again if that had been actual fumble.
I mean,
I think they were running some sort of screen action off to the left side or trying to run some confusion that way, and it's just no time. And the deep drop, we said you can't give up good field position. Well, they just did on a 13-yard loss.
Robinson now with it. They hand this one off to the slot back, but pull it out, and Bissonette keeps it, and he fights right with it, and he'll get it inside of the Tigers' territory up to the 48.
You don't have to have the quarterback run the ball a whole lot, but he pulls it and gets good positive yards like that 3 or 4 times. That sets up your running backs for better yardage coming later.
He faked that handoff to Dominic Testa instead. Pulls it out, keeps it himself, like Mark said, and he gets 6 on that one. 5:30 left here first half. They'll stack the receivers tight to the line. Trips right, 1 left, row the man left. L.J. Watson, or Styles, the running back, he gets it. He works left. He's got enough for the first down, and he fights it up to the 39 before being brought down, and another first down.
Bissonette continuing to carry out his motion like he's running with the football. Didn't fool anybody, but it's important you carry out those fakes to set up, later on when you do pull that out of the belly, they're not sure where you got the ball or not.
John Bissonette, a senior here for the Bulldogs. They'll put 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right here. They keep Styles in the backfield. They move Testa in motion. Now he's in the backfield. They give it to Styles, who works left. He runs into a Tiger there who was waiting on him, and he's going to be brought down on the far side of the field. And
that's like giving the ball off to the fullback in an I formation. Maybe a yard deeper in the backfield, but Styles has got Testa in behind him like an I back as you're working out of the shotgun, that loaded pistol.
Levi Furr with the tackle there for the Tigers on the far side. Again, they line up split receivers 2 each direction here, working left to right, ball left hash. Moves row from left to right. Bissonette set to throw, rolling right, pulls it down, tucks it, goes down the left hash, finds a seam, still on his feet, makes a man miss across the numbers, heading towards the far side of the field, and he's in there for the touchdown.
Wow, 2 big plays now has put the Bulldogs up.
In a huge run from 37 yards out by the quarterback of John Bissonette, as he makes 2 defenders miss, and the Bulldogs busted open here with 4:07.
So Zabo wanted to attempt the extra point, and I thought they had a couple of shots at him, and he just got up ahead of steam, and the quarterback's got some speed.
He did. He made that quick stop right there at the 10. Once he made that stop on the left hash and worked it back towards us in the pylon, he was in there. As Zebo, there's the snap, the place, the kick, it's up. The score, 14-0, 4:07, is John Bissonette able to run it in from 37 yards out on the quarterback keeper, and the Tigers are now down 14 to the number 5 team in the 3A class, the Robinson Bulldogs, in the battle of 49.
Yeah, the Bulldogs got that explosive. Tigers have been bottling them up, but the Bulldogs are really, really explosive. You got a lot of speed. You got to respect that speed. Testa and Rowe and
Bissonette, Watson,
yeah,
Styles.
all those guys. And when you got those guys on the outside and into the backfield, they're so fast. That kind of magnifies the speed of your quarterback, because he doesn't have to be as fast as they are, because you think a quarterback's probably not going to run the ball, but when he takes off, he's got enough speed to beat you.
And when they shifted Rowe in motion, I think that's what really made that play happen, because Rowe requires so much attention, and you shifted him from left to right out of that slot, and I think they did not account for John Bissonette, and he took it to the house. Kicking off to left to right here is Zebo, and he'll boot this one deep. Going to be fielded at around the 10 left hash. He'll bring it still left hash, still on his feet running forward, grabbed around the 35, and a pile of Bulldogs slamming down.
He's being pushed from behind by the Tigers. He's being pushed in the front by the Bulldogs, and his feet were off the ground with the two teams trying to decide which way they pushed him and the football.
And that one there was Dempsey on the return.
But you see Dempsey just picked up literally his feet were off the ground. I don't know that I've seen that recently.
I haven't seen that in a while. As he was being pushed.
It's kind of the ballerina there, or the Dirty Dancing baby jumps up in the air and
holds her.
Patrick Swayze catches her up. Not quite like that, but
looked like he was going to throw it in the
His feet were off
flat.
the ground.
His feet were definitely off the ground.
We'll give you a little exaggeration here.
As they look to throw that one out into the flat to Dempsey, but instead run it up the middle for a pickup of 7 there. Ball carrier was Regal on the right hash where the ball spotted, working right to left. And, yeah, like you said, he was picked up square off the ground. He had his Tigers picking him up from behind, the Bulldogs from the front. Wing back now to the right side. They hand this one off to Regal, who works right. He finds a seam. He'll get it to the 50, and that'll move the chains for the Tigers.
So, first down for the Tigers out near midfield. And
I think that's the first time I've seen that in the last couple of years.
I don't know that I've actually seen the feet come up off the ground like that, and the whistle still. I've seen guys decleated where they've got knocked backwards. Henry Rutledge for Charlotte last night got decleated late in that game against Tulane.
I watched that game, most of that game there, as they shift Dempsey in motion. Dempsey gets it. He makes a spin, fights forward, and slips. He's inside the 45, down at the 44.
It's like the old Earl the Pearl Monroe. Get that dribble in basketball, and take that, and pound that ball hard, and then spin back around.
Yep.
So this time he's got that ball tucked up high and tight, so the defender can't get it and able to spin away for 2-3 more yards.
So a second down and 4 here. 2:33 left here. Mount Pleasant to receive the second half kickoff, so a touchdown here is huge. 2 to the left, 1 to the right, wing back right. They shift the man in motion, which is Dempsey. He runs it right up the middle, and he's pounded after a pickup of 2.
A little odd play there. They run him in orbit. He gets past the quarterback and then comes running back the opposite direction, back in the direction of the motion.
And not a whole lot happening for him when he did that either. He only picks up 1.5.
Trying to get Robinson to overrun the play.
3rd down and 3 here. 1 receiver left, wing back right. 2 tight ends set to the left. There's the snap. They give it off to the ball carrier of, it looks like it's Regal. He's got enough for the first down. It moves the ball up to the 37. Let's see once they unpile who the ball carrier actually is, and it is Regal.
A couple of defenders checking in, Nick White and also Landon Harding. We called both their names earlier, checking out. Jamarcus Hunter was one of those players checking out.
Quick throw from Colin Black into the middle of the field. That's going to be caught inside the Pizza Hut red zone after the catch and being brought down. It looks like, is that Dempsey over there? I can't tell. Wait and see if we can get a jersey number of who that is. No,
don't believe it is. I see bare arms.
That's not Dempsey. I can't tell who that is. But a good catch by a Tiger.
Well, maybe it is.
That might be Dempsey. Yeah, that's Dempsey.
Yep, you're right.
So Dempsey actually not wearing a sleeve. Dempsey wearing the tape on the back of the elbow, I see now.
Yeah, I think they've got those strips. When you play on this artificial surface, there's some adhesive kind of tape that you can tape onto your skin. What happens when you slide or run across, there's these rubber pellets, and it will tear into your skin if you're not careful. If you go sliding along the ground or anything, you put that tape on, and that acts like another barrier to your skin so you don't get skin up nearly as bad. We've got a Robinson player who is down about the 12-yard line.
Good spot there. I wasn't even looking. I was listening to you talk, watching you. I never even looked out the window there. Score here, 14-0, 1:15 left. Mount Pleasant driving now. They're currently inside the Pizza Hut red zone with a first down and the ball spotted at the Robinson 18-yard line. Mount Pleasant will receive second half kickoff. So a touchdown here with very little time left on the clock. You could tie this ball game up with a good drive to start the second half, and it flips this game on its head.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the second half kickoff, so you do 2 things here. You keep Robinson from having the football. Number 3 is the injured player. That's up, Ricky Torres.
The senior.
Kind of hobbling a little bit. He's kind of hops a little bit, favoring that right leg. The Atrium Health trainers escorting him to the sideline.
And as you said there, Mark, this one's massive here because it's a whole lot easier to go into the locker room at halftime down by 7 and find positives and being down by 2 scores.
Well, if you're down 1 at halftime, I think, you think you're in the game. You're 1 play away.
Yep.
If you're down 2 or 3, you're 2 or 3 drives away.
And give this one off to Regal, who works right, getting a push from the Tigers. That pile is moving, and it's up to the 15. They made contact with him at the 17, and they pushed it 2 yards there, Mark.
Both these teams are big up front. Tigers working hurry up now with 50 seconds and clock rolling.
2nd and 7 here. Give it off to Regal, who runs up the middle, and he runs into the pile, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and the clock running now with 40 seconds, and so far neither team calls a timeout. They both still have 2 left.
Well, you got 3rd down, so you get this play, and then you call a timeout when you decide what you have to do or may want to do. And that little inside
eye
reverse.
Candy here as they hand that one, or they toss that one up forward, and that lands in the arms
now you
of
call
Aiden
timeout.
Smith.
You're a yard short, I believe, or a half yard short. Let's see where the spot is. He's about a half yard short.
Yep.
So you got 4th down.
22.3 left here, and I like that call that Crosby called there. They ran that play with Regal before it, where they handed it off to Regal. They lined Aiden Smith up as that wing back, and they tossed him the ball instead of giving it to Regal, and it worked running right up the middle.
Yeah, and what you do when you got 2 different directions going, you force somebody to stay at home, so you can get situations where your blockers are not having to have multiple players coming at them. You have to stay honest. So, at some point, instead of that little inside, they're going to go outside. And, if you get sucked into that inside play, that outside play the next time might be wide open all the way to the pylon. And I'm talking with my hands. I'm sorry. I'm moving with my left hand into the middle of the line, and my right hand going around the right side of the tight end and the tackle. Now,
4th down and a half a yard here.
Here's that full back house shotgun quarterback.
There's the snap. They give it to Dempsey. Up the middle he goes. That's enough for the 1st down, and they push the pile all the way up to the 3 timeout called on the far. Oh, they're setting the chains.
They stopped the clock to set the chains.
Now they spike it.
Hey, Regal. Like that 2-handed chest pass spike.
That was a good 2-handed chest pass spike from Regal there. That stops the clock.
A few years ago, they changed the rule. You could not spike the ball out of the shotgun. You had to be under center. So now you can spike it out of the shotgun.
Yep.
That made a few years ago.
That was a couple of years ago, yeah, because we were very confused by that a couple of years ago. And then we talked to Perry about it, who is our rules expert here in North Carolina high school football, and he explained to us that is a legal thing to do now, because typically that would be considered a fumble because they never made it back to the line of scrimmage. But since then, they've changed the rule.
Well, it'll be intentional grounding.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw it called that way. I'm not sure who it was. It was East Lincoln and North Gaston, maybe. And that's like 20 years.
That was a while ago.
20-some years ago. But that was for the rule change. They were in the shotgun, and they spiked it out of the shotgun and called intentional grounding. Because you're throwing basically at the backside of your offensive linemen. They're not eligible receivers.
That is true. That is very true. 18 seconds left on the clock here. 14-0 to score. 2nd down and goal with the ball at the 3-yard line for the Tigers. The Tigers trying to get one in here right before halftime. They still have 1 timeout remaining.
So you figure 2 or 3 plays, depending upon if it's a pass or a run. If it's a run, you probably have less plays. But, you're at the 4-yard line. If you got a pass play out of this full house, and they're not going to go full house, they're going to go shotgun with a back at the quarterback side.
Looks like that's number, what is that? I can't see who that running back is there. Well, the running back lined up to the left. It's Regal. They throw it, and that's going to be caught in there for the touchdown as he makes the quick throw to the far side of the field as it's cut back in. And is that Ethan Dempsey with the catch? That is Dempsey.
Okay, so Dempsey with a touchdown. That's a big touchdown.
Yes, it is. Dempsey lined up on the numbers far side of the field, came back in on the little in route, and burns it right in there quick as the quarterback of Colin Black. And we are an extra point away from having this as a 7-point ball game.
Big kick here.
There's the kick. It is up, and it is good. The kick from Sellers is good. We have a 7-point ball game with 15.5 left here. And now if you're the Tigers, you got to think about this real quick, Mark. You know Brian Rowe's going to be back deep. Do you directional kick this to make it short? And
you directional kick it. You might even – well, you want to get the clock started. So you probably want to kick it along the ground to one of these up front guys or – kick it high in the air somewhere around the 30, 35-yard line so you can cover. You kick it toward the sideline, too, so you can use the sideline as a defender, and you kind of swarm back. Don't let them come back and run around it. But if you kick it back, got going back deep, looks like Testa's back there, and also Cameron Tucker. Now, Tucker can fly. Also back there is Jamarcus Hunter.
Yeah, Tucker can fly.
You got a couple of dead spots at about the 40-yard line. You got one man in the middle, but if you can kick to one of these dead spots and make it kind of hit there.
Good hands at the 40, though, but he's got a lot of real estate he would have to cover. That's the tight end of Tyler Klutz. But like you said, they have 3 deep back around the 20. Hunter, Testa, and Tucker.
Got a lot of scores coming in here. We'll have it on our benminot.com halftime report.
I'm excited to find out what we got going on. Big week of high school football. As they're set to kick this one away, Sellers. It is a short kick. He goes far side of the field. Is going to be caught by Tucker. Tucker across the numbers. Finds his seam. He's at the 50. The the kicker grabs a hold of him and drags him down. And if he got by Sellers, he was going to the house.
That's why you don't want to kick it that deep. And like I say, Tucker can fly. You want to, and he's more of a defensive back than an offensive player, but he's one of those guys, if you get the ball out in open space, he is dangerous.
And Tucker almost took that one back. He was one man away from going to pay dirt, and the kicker of Sellers able to stop him. The ball all the way up at the Tigers' 46, though. Quick toss out into the flat to Brian Rowe. Rowe catches it. He's pushing the pile forward, and he's right there at the line to gain, but a yard short, and timeout call from
They're going to put
Seidel.
time back on the clock.
They'll put at least 1 second on there.
I would say it's probably going to be about 3 seconds. The question is, did he get out of bounds, or did it? That looks like they called timeout, but I think you're going to have about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds put back on the clock. They were waving their arms a good second and a half, 2 seconds before the clock expired.
Now, if you're
they're going to talk about it.
If you're head coach Jason Seidel, and you know you got the leg from your kicker here, the ball spotted somewhere up near around the 35. You've already taken a chance on 4th down 3 times. Do you kick the long field goal here, or do you take a shot deep for the end zone?
Oh, face mask against Mount Pleasant. It's going to be a 5-yarder. But it's an automatic first down, so that'll be 5 yards closer. Put 1 second back on the clock.
Now we'll see if Seidel sends the offense out there or the kicker, Zebo. He's passed on it 3 times.
It's going to be a 15-yarder.
Oh, this puts him right in field goal range.
Yeah,
all the way up
he's
to the
well.
20.
This will be a 38-yard field goal left to right.
So you're either going to have a chance for a field goal here to put points on the board and make it a 2-possession game, or you're going to have one shot.
I think they're going to go for the touchdown. I don't think they.
Ball spotted at the 21 after the 15-yard penalty there on the Tigers. And I didn't see who grabbed the face mask because there was a
It was right
them.
on the sideline, and there were 2 or 3 players trying to get Rowe to the ground.
And they do trot the offense back out there, Mark. Bissonette's out there. Rowe's out there. They bring the junior running back up. Watson back out there. They'll line up trips right, Rowe man-on-man, far side of the field left.
Now, you spread the Tiger defense way out. I mean, and Tigers are going to call timeout, too, to talk about this.
Good timeout called by head coach Daniel Crosby on the far side of the field. His final timeout, so no timeouts left for either team. And you can't take them with you to the second half. You might as well use them.
No, and you like the idea. You kind of have an idea. They're going to spread you out. And they're going to make somebody make a one-on-one tackle. If you were further back down the field, they couldn't really do that because you figure somebody else is going to get. But from the 21-yard line, one missed tackle and you're in the end zone.
100%.
So
and especially with Brian Rowe and L.J. Watson. Bizanet can run it himself. You also got Dominic Testa. You got all kinds of speed out there on the field, so it can happen with any of them. One missed tackle, and
you put Testa
at the slot.
He's in the slot. You got Rowe on the short side left, and they've got 2 men over on that side. And then, of course, it looks like they're going
with
4 down linemen. They're dropping the linebackers out wide. You could almost just hand it off and try to run it up the middle.
There's the snap to Bizanet. Bizanet steps back, got time, now rolls to his right. Still looking downfield for somebody. Nothing there yet. Now he's running a little bit. He heaves one up towards the end zone, and it's intercepted by a Tiger. And he's only going to get it back out to the 5 before being brought down, and that will end the first half. That one picked off there from, is that Styles?
I'm still looking for that number to. So that is the end of the half.
So the end of the half here at J.M. Robinson High School with the score of 14-7. The Bulldogs on top of the Tigers. And this one here so far has turned out to be a phenomenal game between these two in the Battle of 49. And Mount Pleasant set to receive the second half kickoff. And all they got to do is take one drive down the field, and this game is tied.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a break, and we will be back here at J.M. Robinson. Our score 14-7. And we'll hear a little bit from our sponsors. And, of course, this is the 45 Sports, Radio Free Cabarrus. Mark Plemmons along with James Red Melick, and the BenMinute.com halftime report starts right now. At J.M. Robinson, our score.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. Buy tickets early and save at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. Buy tickets early and save at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Too jolly good.
You'll love the Renaissance Festival.
There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, the living mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Presented by Pepsi. Sponsored by Lettuce Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Renaissance Festival, here I come. And a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Presented by Pepsi. Sponsored by Lettuce Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th to 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. Buy tickets early and save at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan. It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th to 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive.
To some of it. Welcome back in to Concord, North Carolina, where the Battle of 49 between the Mount Pleasant Tigers and the Robinson Bulldogs. The score 14-7. Bulldogs on top of the Tigers. You're listening to the Ben Minute Shop, Click, and Drive halftime show here We'll have updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard and all that. We got a crew over at the Concord versus A.L. Brown game, Battle of the Victory Bell. We'll give you updates on that one as well, as the Pride of Robinson setting up here on the field for Senior Day. They're set to do a performance in front of the home crowd here, as there's about 11 minutes left before we come back from halftime here, Mark. And so far, the first half, pretty even. What do you think? It's
been an outstanding football game so far. Both teams have played hard defensively. We've seen some big plays. Mount Pleasant with one long drive. J.M. Robinson with a couple of drives that ended, actually 3 drives that ended on 4th down, deep in Tiger territory to be turned away. They get on the board with a couple of big plays. A long run by the quarterback was the second score. The first one, about a 60-yard punt return by Brian Rowe. And that's Brian Rowe. You don't want to punt to him. You don't want to give him the ball in space. He is difficult to bring down. He is fast. He's probably faster than anybody the Tigers have. They've got fast guys, but Brian Rowe is a speedster.
Yeah, Brian Rowe and Tucker, both speedsters for this team. And we've even seen John Bissonette make some shifty plays out there, running one in from 37 yards out. And like you said, you put that thing in Brian Rowe's hand and he turns it upfield, you better be ready. And they weren't quite ready for that one, and Brian Rowe able to take it back to the house. As we look out the window here, and the Pride of Robinson performing here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is, but they've got green kind of tie-dyed looking capes over a blue vest. I'm not sure. It's very odd. If you're watching on the NFHS Network, you'll know what we're talking about. They've got looks like maybe a big computer off to the left.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
They've yet to play the first. Well, maybe somebody's playing some percussion up front. They're all huddled up.
While they're doing this here, I'll give a quick update on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark. South Mecklenburg and Myers Park. South Meck leads that one 14-3. Cox Mill, South Iredale. Cox Mill leads. They got their first win of the year last week against Hickory Ridge. They lead 10-7 over South Iredale. All Huff against Hopewell. Huff leads 34-0 second quarter there. West Cabarrus pulling away now after Hickory Ridge took the early lead. 24-7 West Cabarrus on top. A.L. Brown Concord tied at 14 halftime. Lake Norman leads 14-13, or Lake Norman trails 14-13 to Mooresville at halftime. Piedmont and Parkwood. Piedmont 14, Parkwood 7.
Well, the band started playing.
They did. They got loud quick. Mallard Creek 29, Chambers 6. Lake Norman Charter and Bonnie Cone Leadership Academy.
You know where that's at?
I have no idea.
It's right next door to the Renaissance Festival.
Really?
If you go out the back door and throw a rock, you'll hit the Renaissance Festival grounds.
I did
it's
not
right
know
there,
there
that big curve, right there in that big curve on Poplar Tent, just as you right at the Mecklenburg Cabarrus line on Poplar Tent.
Is it new? They just built it?
Yeah, it's new. It's new.
Say,
yeah.
I've never seen that school. I went through there a good bit a while ago. I haven't been through there in a while. Sun Valley Porter Ridge. Sun Valley leads 14-7 over Porter Ridge. East Rowan and West Rowan. West Rowan, Perry's alma mater, leads 35-0 over East.
Wow, they've added another score. Perry sent us a score in at 28-0, but they've added another score.
West Charlotte all over North Meck right now, 30-0 second quarter there.
Let's give you a couple scores here also on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Perry Gabriel sending these in. West Cabarrus 10, Hickory Ridge 7. That's in the second quarter. Mooresville 14, Lake Norman 10. And the Battle of the Bell over at Robert C. Bailey Stadium, Coach E.Z. Smith Field. It's Concord 14, A.L. Brown 14.
Battle for that bell. It's a tough one.
And Perry sends the score in. E.Z. Smith 14, Bruce Harden 14. Darren Shepard 14, Justin Harden 14, I believe is the way that one goes. John says the second touchdown from A.L. Brown was a little questionable. He thought that it was a bad call of a fumble. And again, John on our Radio Free Cabarrus Facebook page with the audio broadcast tonight, and that game also on the NFHS Network. Well, I thought that was a computer. Now they're up on the stage.
Dancing?
They were treating it like it was a stage.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, this is it took me a while when we were at Hickory Ridge a couple weeks ago to figure out that it was like some space age theme. I'm not really sure what this is.
Kings Mountain Crest. Kings Mountain trails a 9-7 second quarter to Crest. Shelby and Burns, second quarter. Shelby leads that one over Burns. Both teams 7-2 in that one. I wish I had an update on this one here, the Statesville-Hickory game, but I do not. They're showing score nothing in that one.
Two really good teams there.
Really,
Hickory,
really
the
good
defending
teams.
state champions. Statesville, really, really good this year, the Greyhounds.
They built a lot of tight ends out of there, too.
The tight ends out of Statesville?
Yeah, they've had a couple of them, like 3 of them that came out of Statesville that are really solid, good tight ends at the next level of college.
Did a basketball playoff game up there one year with J.M. Robinson. Brody Kerner, who's an outstanding pitcher, I think it was in the Yankees. I'm assuming he's still with the Yankees.
Yep.
But Brody's from J.M. Robinson. He had this huge game against Statesville, scored 30-some points. I bet 15 of them were for the free throw line. But I was in like a crow's nest in that gym, and the table in front of me was really just a board. It was about maybe a 8 to 10 inch wide. I taped my equipment to it. I was afraid that radio equipment would fall down in the stands on top of somebody, but just right up in the rafters of that gym up at Statesville. But J.M. Robinson came away with a win that day and advanced in the playoffs several years ago, when Brody was playing.
Yeah, Robinson's had a really good basketball team, and so has Central Cabarrus the last couple of years. Robinson a couple of years ago winning the state championship, and Central Cabarrus going back-to-back.
Well, if you go back all the way back to 2000, I think Central Cabarrus has 3 state championships.
That sounds right.
You've got 2 state championships for the men's team at Cox Mill. I believe it was 2.
I think that's right.
You said 2 or 3. You've got 2 state championships in men's basketball here at J.M. Robinson. You've also got a state championship in men's basketball at Concord and a girls' championship in basketball at Concord.
That's
so
a lot. And even just right up the road in Charlotte, you had Chambers, who won one a couple of years ago during the COVID year when they kind of cut it short and did a 2-team kind of won it kind of deal.
Yeah, they didn't go all the way to the state. They create champions like an East and a West champion. Yep. But a lot of good basketball played, a lot of good football. Of course, we've had some football championships with Concord winning a couple. A.L. Brown has won. It's been a while since they've won one. A.L. Brown has won 3, maybe 4 state championships. And we've been close on basketball. Hickory Ridge, Talonda Simmons, when she was the girls coach there, lost in the championship game in Chapel Hill in the Dean Dome, and just a really, really close game there. And
it's been a while since we've had a state champion in football out of Cabarrus County.
Yeah, it's been. I guess you go back probably all the way back to Concord winning those two championships, because you remember. E.Z. Smith got 2 championships, but Glenn Padgett got to the state championship game 2 years in a row and lost 2 years in a row to Havelock.
Yep. But, yeah, I think it's been a while since one has been crowned. And if the Bulldogs continue to play football like they have all year, which is going to be tougher. Every week is going to get tougher from here on out. Next week you go into a bye week. Just a reminder for everyone, the reason there's a bye week next week for Robinson is Robinson was able to play all their games this year. They scheduled one on Labor Day. They played it then on that Monday, which opened up this week for them. The state of North Carolina and NCHSAA decided to push the playoffs back because of the weather that happened on the east and on the west coast of North Carolina, and push football back to add these teams to have a makeup date. So next week there's quite a few schools that will be off, getting a bye week. Robinson one of them, but there will be schools like Hickory Ridge in action next week. So we could possibly be there covering that game, and then the playoffs to follow the following week after that. So after Robinson gets that bye week, it's just going to get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher every week for these Bulldogs.
Well, the band continues to play here on the BenMinot.com halftime report. Shop, click, and drive. BenMinot.com. Pick and click your vehicle. You can even arrange financing, test drive, and they can even bring the vehicle out to your house. Again, that's BenMinot.com. Shop, click, and drive. Well, a close ball game. Mount Pleasant's going to get the ball to start the second half. We're about 4.5 minutes or so from that happening. They'll put 3 minutes on the clock after the band finishes playing, and got about a minute 20 on the clock, and they'll put 3 back on. Nice big video scoreboard here that was put in with dollars from the Cabarrus Visitors Convention and Visitors Bureau. You know, they've got this Mondo track here, and one of the things that keeps this track attracting tourists and events is that track. Well, they needed a better scoreboard to keep up with the track events. So you got field events are in the stands or behind the stands over there at Mount Pleasant. You've got your long jump, high jump, things out near the scoreboard, and then of course track on the around the football field. One of the things, it's hard to tell who's winning. Instead of just having scores and time up there, now they can flash those up like standings. If you got the 100 meters and you've got the top 10, you put everybody's name and time up, and it's a really good advantage. A lot of other schools we've heard complain Robinson gets some preferential treatment, but the reality is this school is it's the closest to all the hotels that attract a lot of the tourism business along Speedway Boulevard and over there off Weddington Road Extension. So that's why you put it here. You don't want it far, far away. For example, if you put it at Mount Pleasant, how far you would have and you're taking people away, and it makes it less attractive when they're trying to attract those tourists.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean,
here you're right. You can see the Speedway from here. That's an attraction. You know,
be on 85 in 5 minutes, and all the food before you get to 85 right there. The hotels, like you said, you can come out of here. You can go right. There's hotels. Go left. You can head back towards the Speedway, like you said. And there's plenty of hotels over there just because of the race, and you're not more than probably 10 minutes away from UNC Charlotte. Hotels down there, and then you can continue off into Charlotte, downtown Charlotte, and you're probably 15, 20 minutes from there.
And, of course, you're getting some small college meets. You're getting AAU meets here. And they've judged the impact on the track, which has been here just a little bit more than a year, in the tens of millions of dollars already.
Wow.
There's 2 other tracks that they really compete with. North Carolina A&T has a track that competes, and I think there's one in Durham that the tourism folks tell us they compete with. So the band has wrapped up. The players are coming back out, and we're just about ready to go back to some football here just in a couple of minutes. J.M. Robinson undefeated on the season. Mount Pleasant with that lone 16-14 loss to Northwest Cabarrus.
Yeah, like you said, they had that one loss there to Northwest, and last week the Bulldogs able to get that win against Northwest in a tight one, where they kind of got it in the third quarters when they kind of really took the lead and got control, won that one 20-10, as they remained perfect on the season and claimed their 4th consecutive 3A South Piedmont championship. And last week it was all Mount Pleasant when they traveled to North Stanley and won that one 49-27 to get their first conference championship. Not ever, but not their back-to-back.
Yeah,
they lost last year.
Couple of years. And Daniel Crosby getting his, I believe, his first conference championship as the head coach.
Yeah,
Mike Johns won several years. In fact, he had a couple of undefeated regular seasons going in to the postseason. Never really could get past the Shelbys of the world to get into that state championship game.
Yeah, both coaches, from what I could tell, in their 3rd year of coaching at their respective programs. Crosby 3rd year, and same thing with head coach Seidel for the Bulldogs. And Coach Crosby able to get his first conference championship. After last year, it looked like they were going to be the team to beat in that 1A, 2A Piedmont championship. They got taken down by North Stanley at home, and then North Stanley goes and loses to Albemarle, and Albemarle ends up winning the conference championship. And we thought it was going to be Mount Pleasant, But instead, North Stanley had different of that, and then Albemarle had different of that. So last year, a funky conference championship layout for the 1A, 2A Yadkin Valley Conference. But this year, no questions about it. It's all the Tigers.
And, of course, it's been all Bulldogs. They had, until last week, that was by far the closest game they had played. They had running clocks in a majority of their football games this season. And that's a tough thing. When you get that running clock, you shorten the games. You don't get to play as much. You don't get battle tested in some of those tight, close ball games.
Like you said, last 4 games, I'll read them off to you. I won't say any schools' names. I'll just tell you the scores. 83-0 win.
That's East Rowan.
East Rowan. 48.
I'm sorry. I got into an argument with people on Facebook about this. They, whoa, how can you do that? Well, it's not J.M. Robinson's. It's not their business to keep the score close against a bad football team.
Nope.
It's not saying the kids are bad at East Rowan. It's their bad football team.
Just
and they're better than they were last year, if you can believe that, though.
Just an off year for them. 48-7 West Rowan, 48-7 South Rowan, and then 20-10 against Northwest, and that's the most points they've given up all year. So leading up to that game, they didn't score under 48 points in the last 5 games. We're set to kick this one away. You've been listening to the Ben Minot Shop Click and Drive halftime show here. Mark Plemmons, James Melick on the call for you guys. Battle of 49 as the Bulldogs are set to kick this one off from left to right. Back to the Tigers. Tigers trying to tie this one up as they trail by 7, 14-10. And it looks like that could be Dempsey and Burris back deep to receive.
I think that's who we had earlier.
It's a line drive kick that's going to be bounced. It's going to go off the hands and be picked up by a Tiger at the 20. He'll take it down the right hash and be brought down. And it looks like a number 3. Is that what you see?
I think it is 3, and that would be Cameron Chitari. So Chitari with a nice pickup there.
Chitari got it at the 20, brings it out
the late Coach Soupy Campbell used to tell us the 25-yard line is the indicator on a kickoff. If it's inside the 25, the kickoff team won.
Regal out of the left side slot, works right down the right hash on the handoff, and he'll get the ball up to the 35, so he'll pick up a 2 from Jacob Regal there on first down.
Outside the 25, the return team wins. And when the coach at Ohio State had a lot of research, and this was college football, but
Jason Day?
No, it was I believe it was
working to the right here.
Paul Young? That's not right.
I almost said Jim Trussell, but Jim Trussell was basketball.
No, it was after Jim Trussell.
No, he was football.
It was after Jim Trussell.
Who was after Trussell?
It wasn't
Urban Meyer?
It wasn't Urban Meyer. I'm not sure who it was, but the Ohio State coach did a lot of research on this, and you get out across the 25, the percentage of time you score increases, and the farther down the field you go. But when you get out beyond the 30-yard line to start the drive, you score almost half the time.
That's insane. As they run a little trick play here on the reverse, they hand this one off to...
He's a yard and a half short.
Aiden Smith.
Smith ran hard, but knees came down just before he could get the ball extended out to the 43 where he needed to go. It's marked at the 42.
So it was a little touch pass from the quarterback of Colin Black to Regal. Regal then hands it off, and now the quarterback keeps it of Regal, and Regal runs it for the first down, and he gets it up to the Robinson 48.
Tigers did a good job of getting up on the line. Robinson was in a substitution package, and they just barely got onto the field in time.
2 left, 1 right. Hand this one off. Black does to Regal, works it down the right hash, and he gets it inside the 45 up to the 44. And hurry up offense here for the Tigers.
Try to get a little tempo. Get those big guys up front winded a little bit.
2nd and 5, 2 left, 1 right. They fake the handoff. He throws this time, caught middle of the field by Dempsey, and he goes down after making the catch inside the 40 at the 39. That moves the chains again for the Tigers.
No, he's a yard short, I believe.
Is he? Yes, he is a yard short.
Just 1 short. The ball was just slightly behind him. If he catches it on his front hip, he's got the first down.
Whistles on the field, and is that an official's timeout?
I think we got a player down on the sideline trying to run off, and he fell right on the sideline for J.M. Robinson.
Right here, couldn't see him. This gives us a time, though, while that's going on, to thank all the trainers and student trainers from Atrium Health, making it possible for all these athletes to compete in their respected sports that are at every practice, every game, all the time. So thank you, Atrium Health, and thank you to all the trainers and student trainers out there who make it possible.
3rd down and 1. We had 4th down and 1 a minute ago. They were going so fast we didn't even get a chance to tell you it was 4th down. And the Wonders have taken the lead against the Spiders 20-14. They had been down 14-0 and have come roaring back.
See if we can find the number out on this player as he's walking parallel to us right now. Can't catch a jersey number on the injured Bulldog. We'll see if we can get that. So a 3rd down and 1 here. They come in jumbo package.
Yeah, they got 3 backs, then the quarterback and the shotgun, and he can go right behind those 4 backs if he wants to. They treat this like just a big power play, and the quarterback running the ball, and that's exactly what they do. This time they run away from it.
So they bring it left with Dempsey. Dempsey to the 30, trying to fight a man off, and he's shoved out of bounds inside the 30 at the 29, and a good job by Dempsey following his blockers there.
The tendency on that is they put the 3 backs either right or left, and they run behind those 3. This time what they did, they went away from the 3 and had the 3 run in front of the quarterback across the line of scrimmage.
Hand off to Aiden Smith, who works right, and he runs right into a pile of Bulldogs, and he'll pick up 2 there. Now they'll give him 1, actually. That moves the ball up to the 28, and a flag from the back.
Flag late. Let's see what that is. Too many players on the field for somebody. He's counting heads. Yep. And it's going to be illegal participation. Oh, I think it's illegal participation on somebody. He's counting players.
Yeah, he's counting them. See how many? 1, 2, 3.
I saw him go 1, 2, 3. You could see him. You could see him point. The back judge was looking.
I'm counting 11 out there. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, I see 11 on both sides.
I'm seeing 11. See if it was just
maybe some of that fancy Chisholm bop or whatever you remember how you used to count with your fingers and toes.
Yeah,
they used to advertise that like they do Medicare on TV. You don't see the daytime TV stuff.
No, I don't see a whole lot of it, and they do get them.
Who did it?
They got Robinson.
I guess they ran off. Somebody ran off after the play was over, so it'll be
illegal participation there.
5 yards at the end of the run and replay the down, I believe.
That moves the ball up to the 18.
They're marking 15 off.
Holy moly. Yeah, they marked 15
That's more than
off. That was like 16 yards.
The Robinson fans are a little
I don't know what that was.
Are a little upset about this.
I would be a little upset as well because it wasn't a clear signal. It looked like it was just 12 men, and then all of a sudden they mark off 15. The ball's all the way up at the 15-yard line and inside the Pizza Hut red zone for the Tigers here to open up the second half.
Get your pizza at pizzahut.com.
They do a direct snap to the running back there of Dempsey, and he's in there working it down the right hash, and we got a 13-14 ball game with 8:13 pending the extra point.
Well, the Tigers just shoved it down the field. Ethan Dempsey running that power formation. 15-yard run.
And a huge run from Dempsey. And the Tigers answer to start the second half, and they got the Bulldogs against the ropes.
Sellers with a chance possibly to get the extra point to tie.
There's the snap, the place, the kick. It's up, and it's good. We have a tie ball game here at J.M. Robinson High School with the score 14-14, the Mount Pleasant Tigers. Tie it up after going down 14. They scored it in the first half, scored to open the second half. We have a tie one here with 8:30 left. And Mark, so far, the last 2 games for the Bulldogs, they've been tested.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They were tested against Northwest, and they're currently being tested against this Tigers team with Daniel Crosby at the helms. And we're going to see what Coach Seidel can have happen here to get this Bulldogs team rallied back up, as he's out there right now with his return team trying to get them fired up.
Well, this is exactly what you want if the Bulldogs is get this kickoff. You want one of your speedy guys on the backside. You got Testa back there. You've got Tucker.
And you have Hunter. You're going to have Hunter near side, Testa in the middle, and Tucker far to the left, standing at the 25.
And all these guys have got speed. So Tigers, we'll see where they try to kick it. Thought they kicked it a little too deep last time, and that really set up the opportunity for a possible score at the end of the half for Robinson. Robinson failed on the throw to the end zone.
Let's see if they decide to kick it this time more to the left side of the field towards Testa than Hunter.
Now, they pulled up, so you got a man standing at the 15-yard line. Sellers could probably kick it over his head, but they're going to
line drive it. It's going to be picked up by Testa. Testa bobbles it at the 25. Now works near side at the numbers. Grab from behind, still on his feet at the 40 and fights forward up near the 45 and should be around the 44-yard line. And another good return. They're going to actually mark it right at the 45.
Eli Von Cannon had first contact, but he was near that horse collar and had to let go with one hand. And when he lets go with the one hand to keep from getting the penalty, he was able to get another 10 yards after the play. But, you know, that's good awareness, though. You don't want to get that 15-yard penalty.
That was great awareness. I wonder if he's got any relation to John Von Cannon.
I don't know. There's a lot of Von Cannons down toward Mount Pleasant.
Working left to right here. Throws the ball off the right half. Going to be caught by Testa one-handed on the numbers at the 40, and he fights forward up to the 48.
Lane Honeycutt grabbed on and just held on for a short gain.
Dominic Testa with the nice one-handed catch there. They're going to leave Rowe out far wide to the left. Looks like they're going to line up trips left, one right. The man down here at the bottom by himself is Carter Crosby.
They've gotten away from running with Watson and Sykes a little bit. I wonder if they want to go back to that.
And Styles is who they go with. Not Styles, that's Watson who works left down the left hash, and he's going to get it all the way inside the 40 up to the 37, 36 now is where they mark it. And a huge run from the junior of Watson.
He's their leading rusher. I think he gets about 85, 86 yards a game.
Yeah, he's averaging 76 a game. He has 15 total touchdowns, 14 of them on the ground. They'll put trips right, one left, Rowe the man by himself left. They go back to Watson who works left. He finds a seam. He's running outside and gets hit right at the line to gain at the 25, and he got popped.
He ran into the back of Brian Rowe. Rowe was the defenders trying to push Rowe back into him, and he hit Rowe hard in the back and just bounced off of him. Brian Rowe doesn't go down easy, and even his own teammates bounce off of him.
Brian Rowe.
I saw a basketball play, Charlotte and Newberry the other night. Speaking of bouncing off, and Kiana Rimbert. I'll tell you about this after the play.
They'll put two to the left, two to the right here. There's the snap. They go to L.J. Watson, who works left down the left hash. Now over the numbers, upfield. And he's inside the Pizza Hut red zone before being brought down at the 10.
Going to be first and goal as he was just a half step from getting that one in the end zone. Rimbert is defending, and she gets caught out on the wing. She's a post player. One of the guards for Newberry decides to drive hard right at her and runs into her. Kiana keeps her hands in the air. The player hit her in the chest, bounced off, the ball trickled away, and Charlotte went the other way and shot an easy layup.
That is awesome as they hand this one off here, and they work left, still on his feet, running before being drug out of bounds. That looks like it's John Bissonette with the keeper.
Yeah, good run that time. That keeps the defense honest. And that just tells you weight room, even women's basketball, volleyball, any football, baseball, if you can get stronger than your opponent, you've got an advantage.
100%. Second down and goal here with the ball at the 7. Clock winds down to 5:48 left here, third quarter. They'll line up one receiver left, two to the right here. Rowe the man by himself. They hand the ball off to Watson. He's dancing around a little bit in the backfield, fights forward and runs into a pile and gets up to the 6. So pick up a 1 there from L.J. Watson. It's going to bring up a third down and goal here with the ball at the 6 for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs trying to punch one in here after the Tigers just pretty much drove the length of the field to tie this ball game up.
This is a bit. They started this drive, I believe, about the 45, so they're trying to get about a 55-yard drive. But what's happened, this is shortening the game. We're already over halfway through the third quarter.
5 minutes left here in the third. Third down and goal here. There is the snap. Bisonet fakes the handoff to Watson, rolls right where Tripsworth throws that one. That one's off the hands of the intended target as he looks like he tried to get that one to his junior quarterback, a C.J. Waddy.
Yeah, Waddy got it in his hands. He was between two defenders, but a pretty good throw by Bisonet. That's a makeable play, and it looks like Zabo's coming out to try to kick the go-ahead field goal.
And I don't hate this call from Coach
No, this is the right
Seidel.
call. This is the right call. Take the points. If you go and don't get it, you give the Tigers some momentum.
Exactly.
But
And they've already stopped you 3 other times doing it, Mark.
Yeah, so you stopped on fourth down 3 times.
Going to be a left to right kick, kicking off the left hash. Ball placed and spotted at the 13, so it'll be a 23-yard kick here from Zebo. There is the snap, the place, the kick. It is up, and it is good as Zebo hits it from 23 out.
Yeah,
But
Ryan
whistles
Zabo,
on
that was
the
a
field
flag.
there.
They threw a flag at the end. Let's see if there's a –
If this is a personal foul,
it
that'll
may
give
be
the ball.
assessed on the – well, personal foul would probably be an automatic first down, but I think it's dead ball. I think it's after the play. Personal foul against Mount Pleasant.
This will move the ball, and this will keep the offense
now let's
out
see.
there.
Yeah, they say first down,
Yeah.
so that is half the distance to goal, and they take points off the board.
But that gives the Bulldogs a chance to put it up for 7.
So that'll take it to the 3.5.
I should take it. They were at the 6, so it should be around the 3.5 yard line here after that penalty. And they're going to place it at – they're going to place it.
Well, that's a costly penalty for Mount Pleasant. I thought it was at a 7, but I could be wrong there.
That's it. I think it was spotted at the 6 or 7. Where do they got it showing on the board? They got it showing the ball was at the 5.
It should be half the distance, which should take it to 3.5 or 4 yard line.
And they're over there talking to head coach Daniel Crosby about what happened on the far side of the field.
The flag came up while the ball was in the air. I'm surprised that they didn't call this post kick.
Robinson Bulldogs will keep possession. The ball going to be spotted at the 3.
I believe it's closer than the 3.
That might be the 2. Yeah, that's at the 2.
Well, let's see. Yeah, let's call it the 2.
I'm going to bring L.J. Watson in at the back position. They'll put 2 receivers to the right, row left by himself. All the officials trot back to their position with 4:46 left here, and the Bulldogs able to catch a break after a costly penalty from the Tigers, trying to punch one in after the field goal was made from 23 out. They accepted the penalty to take the points off the board. First down and goal with the ball at the 2. They move Rowan motion from left to right. They hand it off to Watson, goes left, and Watson's in there again for another touchdown. And the Bulldogs punch one in with 4:41 left in the third quarter. And that penalty, a costly one for the Tigers as they've had them stopped. They give them another opportunity, and it takes one play for the junior of L.J. Watson to punch it in there. Now we wait the extra point from Zebo.
So Ryan Zebo to kick this one, and young kicker. I see him on Twitter all the time, social media, kicking and working. Puts up sometimes 3 or 4 kicks he'll post online a couple times a week.
There's the place, the snap, the kick. It's up, and it is good. Zebo tacks on the extra point to score now. 21-14, 4:41 left. The Bulldogs able to answer with a drive of their own here to start the second half and take the lead back by 7.
Yeah, that
was a costly penalty.
Yeah, you don't get much costlier than that. Sit it down 17-14, you're down a full touchdown. Still, if you were talking about soccer, it'd be 1-0.
It would be 1-0.
Or 3-2.
It looks so much easier when you say 1-0 compared to down 7.
Yeah. Well, the kickoff will be coming to Mount Pleasant.
It's still driving me crazy that I can't remember who that kicker is for Huff a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. But he set the national record for points scored. Kickoff being made by number 15, so Szabo doesn't kick off. Instead, they have quarterback Bissonette.
Set to kick this one away. They'll be kicking off from left to right after the touchdown. A line drive kick that will be fielded by a Tiger on the far side of the field at the 20. He'll take it down the right hash and run into a pile, and they'll move the pile a couple of yards, but he'll get it out to around the 36, 37-yard line, and that's where the Tigers, 37 will be the official spot where the Tigers will take over.
Tigers drove down the field last time with pace and power. They ran at a big, fast pace. They did a lot of power football and come up with a touchdown. Let's see if there's adjustments made by Robinson or Mount Pleasant's going to change it up again. Looks like they're going back pretty much to their standard kind of slot back offense.
They shift the man of Dempsey in motion, who gets it from left to right. He takes it off the right tackle, and he'll get 1. Moves the ball up to the 43. Or not the 43. I'm sorry. I'm looking at that backwards.
Yeah, it looks like he's. Now that play, again, that's the orbiting motion into the backfield for Dempsey with the handoff. They've also got the play where he's coming from the left in that orbit. The slot back is on the right side. He can come back in that little reverse position and take the pitch or take the handoff instead of straight handoff.
They hand this one right off to Regal, who goes up the middle and gets it up to the 45. He goes right side. They've been pounding that right side of that line all night. That's the direction they keep working, right, most of the night.
Regal and Smith are both kind of power backs, and we talked to some of the coaches after one of the games earlier this year and talked about how Aiden Smith was just a beast in the weight room, and you could really see up close when you get down on the field.
3rd down and 2 here. They go right up the middle, and they're not going to get it. They might have got a half a yard there with the carry from Dempsey.
That was that power formation. The three backs lined up right. They're a couple yards back off the line of scrimmage on the right side of the line that time.
They're going to line
shotgun
up for
quarterback. Yeah, this is exactly what they did last time.
They're lining up with that power again. They got 3 down linemen right beside Dempsey, who's lined up at the quarterback spot.
And you see everybody charging for Robinson.
There is the snap. Dempsey gets it. Rolls to the right. He's got enough for the first down, and he's going to get it up.
Yeah, he does. Just got it, and then he got tattooed. That's the little counter that they run out of it. That instead of running right behind that power, they bring the backs across the line of scrimmage in front of him instead of him running behind them. And what it does, one side really pursues hard on the defense, and so they get sucked up the field, and then you've got more blockers on the opposite side.
They'll line up. 1 receiver left. They hand this one, fake the handoff to Regal. They move the man out of the tight end spot, who's wide open and makes the catch all the way down to the 20. He drops that one right in the basket of Moore.
Is it Moore or Justin Kyle?
I thought it was 24.
24 is, I've got Justin Kyle as 24.
I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Good catch.
Yeah, Justin Kyle with a nice throw that time. Just put it right on the money.
They hand this one off to Regal. Regal goes right, and he gets it up to the 15. And a good catch there, Mark, on you. I had the wrong sheet.
It's been a lot more competitive football game than I thought. I thought Robinson would really be a tough ask for Mount Pleasant, and Tigers have really stepped up.
Back to Regal again. Regal runs this one up to the 12-yard line. 1:55 left here. The score 21-14. And as you said, this has been a really competitive game, and the Tigers have stepped up to the answer against these Bulldogs here.
They're getting some substitutions, but a little bit more beef up front. Took a couple of defensive backs out. 3rd
down and 3 with the ball at the 13 here inside the Pizza Hut red zone. They got Dempsey in the quarterback, 3 down linemen in front of him. He works the ball left. He's got nothing but green grass in front of him, And there is the touchdown for Ethan Dempsey, a walk-in touchdown.
13-yard run. Everybody followed the blockers. He just bounced to the outside, and there was nobody out there.
Yeah, like you said, they all followed the blockers right. He bounced left, nothing but green grass, and an easy 13-yard trot untouched for Ethan Dempsey to make it 21-20. We're an extra point away from tying this ball game up, and a couple coaches fired up here in the booth.
I'm sure they are, because they basically followed. The Tigers were going for 2, but they got called for motion here. They'll put the kicking team on now. Sellers will come out and try to tie it. They had that same power formation. The blockers went straight into the line like they're going to block a power and he's going to run back. Instead of following those blockers, Dempsey just made a straight just angle, kind of like he's going not quite toward the pylon, but angling away from the play. Everybody's following the blockers, are all sucked in, and when that end, there's no contain. So he's just sprinting straight to the end zone.
There's the place, the snap, the kick. It's up. We got a tie one here at 21 each with 1:24 left, third quarter. And the Yadkin Valley Conference, Mount Pleasant Tigers giving the 3A South Piedmont champion Bulldogs, who are perfect on the season, all they can handle.
Yeah, this is if the Tigers should win, to me it's a 2-touchdown upset.
I agree.
But it still may wind up a 2-touchdown game here. The Bulldogs could wake up here and get 2 big plays. If you're Mount Pleasant, you got to avoid the big plays. The big plays what hurt in the first half. The 60-yard punt return by Brian Rowe, the Bissonette 37-yard play. And here's the danger time. You've got you got Tessa, Tucker, and the other players out there that can run this all the way back. I would concede to give it up at around the 30, 35-yard line and just roll it to that spot, let it die, and cover the kick.
Maybe kick it in the area of Carter Crosby.
Either kick it high, or just don't let it get all the way to the back. You don't want those back 3 guys handling the ball in the open field.
No, not Testa. As we are set to kick this one away from right to left. And they try to onside kick it, and they touched it before it went 10 yards, I think, Mark.
Yeah, they did. They're 9 yards down the field. They recovered it, but it didn't go 10, so it's going to be J.M. Robinson football with great field position.
Yeah, I think the kicker touched it before it made it 10 yards. Crosby's trying to plead for it.
It looked like it hit somebody's ankle, but I think it was a Tiger that it hit. They're going to talk about who hit it. If it was a Robinson player that hit it, then it's a free ball once they touch it, and Mount Pleasant's got possession. But I think it was a Tiger who hit it, and then the recovery was made. I
agree. I believe illegal touching, yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be first down at the 49-yard line.
It was well timed. They were not ready for it.
Yeah, but you gotta kick it just a little bit harder.
Yep, because I think that was the punter who went up there to get it, and he just touched it about. Did you see there maybe a football's length just too early?
Yeah, he's just barely before it hit midfield. It's got to hit midfield.
Robinson gets the ball in plush territory at the Mount Pleasant 49 with 1:24 here in a tie ball game in a battle of 49. Those stack receivers near side here. It looks like they got Stiles in there at the back. They shift motion with Rowe from left to right. They hand it up the middle to Stiles. Stiles dancing around, and he'll fall forward up to the 45.
So he gets 4 on the first down.
So the freshman out there in big moments, and if he's going to be the back of the future here for the Bulldogs, the future's bright at the running back spot.
No turnovers. Very well played ball game. We've had a couple of penalties. One bad penalty for Mount Pleasant on that personal foul on the field goal attempt. It would cost them 4 points.
Clock under a minute left here. Stacked receivers near side. Rowe left side hash, working left to right. They shift Rowe in motion from left to right. They give it off to Watson in the handoff, and Watson swarmed up in the backfield. One of the Tigers stood right there to greet him, and I can't catch a number on who that is.
Yeah, I'm looking to try to see the number. He's trying to pull his pants down over his knee pads.
44 is who I'm seeing there.
It is 44, and 44
Maddox Barrier.
Is Maddox Barrier. He's a junior linebacker.
That was a big play there.
Yeah, he came crashing in, and the running back just ran straight into his waiting arms.
15 left on the game clock. There's 13 left on the play clock. They don't have to run another play if they don't want to. They decide to. Bissonette steps back, steps up in the pocket, now rolls right. Looking downfield, he'll pull it down, tuck it. He'll get to the 40, make a man miss, and then jump forward and fall out of bounds, and they'll mark him right at the 40. I thought he should have been a little bit farther forward there with the way he was hit.
His feet hit the sideline, looked like.
He hit the sideline. See, he's trying to get a little bit more side L is as well.
Yeah, his feet hit the sideline before he came out of bounds, and that's when he fell forward. It's wherever the ball was in his hand. Yeah, I think it's a good spot, but I know the Robinson folks don't like it.
For sure, Seidel doesn't. He's letting that side judge get an earful of it right now.
Yeah, that side judge is looking straight up the line, so he sees that line. He's watching those feet, making sure they're inside. And once he touches that white, it's dead right where that ball's at. Bissonette holding that ball like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, that's a dangerous way to hold it.
You're toting that tater, man. You need to tuck it high and tight when you get past the line of scrimmage. He's trying to keep the play alive, the thread of the pass. But once he hits the line of scrimmage, you got to tuck it.
As we head to the fourth quarter here in the Battle of 49, the score 21-21 between the 8-1 Mount Pleasant Tigers and the 9-0 Robinson Bulldogs. Been a while since the Tigers have been able to pull one off here against the Robinson Bulldogs. Last year, Robinson came out victorious with a big win against the Tigers. It was 49-7 in that ball game, but so far Coach Crosby has the defense, the offense, and the special teams working for the Tigers. A fourth down and one here for the Bulldogs with the ball at the Mount Pleasant 40. They've been able to stop them 3 times. Can they do it again? They've lined up bunched tight to the line of scrimmage right. Rowe, the man down here at the bottom, just short of the left hash by himself. They will be working from right to left here. Bissonette steps up, redirects. Watson in the backfield to his left. There's the snap. They give it to the back. And Stiles actually was the ball carrier, gets the first down.
Well, he took it right down to the end of the play clock. I think there was about maybe 2 seconds on the play clock when he snapped it. It's tough on those defensive linemen trying to hold your water up front when you're waiting, and then they fire off like that.
And you got to sit still that long in a squat position. It is tough. So a new set of downs for the Bulldogs after the run. They line up 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Rowe with the bottom. Bissonette looks his direction, goes middle of the field. It's going to be caught, not by Rowe. It's going to turn upfield. That is Rowe. Rowe's going to run it down the sidelines and be brought out of bounds. They crossed him and Testa did, and I thought it was Testa who made the catch.
Out at the 2-yard line. Just got a hand on him to knock him out of bounds. You give the ball to him in space. That's your number one threat for J.M. Robinson. Give it to him in space.
Bissonette keeps it, and he's in there for the touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the day on the quarterback keeper, John Bissonette, from 2 yards out.
They went quick, and the Tigers weren't ready.
Did you see them 2 cross there? I didn't see him cross.
Yeah, he threw it. He got the arm across.
No. I'm talking about when Rowe and Testa crossed. Did you see them 2 cross in their route?
Yeah. They crisscrossed.
I missed it. I had a pole in my way.
Oh, sorry about that.
I didn't see it. That's why I didn't think it was Rowe. I had the pole and I missed it. But it's all right. They got the call. Brian Rowe in there with the touchdown. Or not the touchdown. Bissonette in there with the touchdown. Rowe with the big catch as we await the extra point. The place, the snap, the kick. It's up, and it is good. The Bulldogs back on top by 7. 28-21, 11-13, fourth quarter. And the Bulldogs able to answer back.
Yeah, 28-7. Still a lot of time. Both teams have 3 timeouts left, and nobody's committed to turnover in this game. That's a well-played football game.
Yes, it is. For both teams so far here, I don't want to jinx anybody.
Yeah, I probably just did.
But the way I look at it is, if you don't turn the football over and you keep it tight with Robinson and you're Mount Pleasant, you go home, and that is a huge win. Because Robinson, a 3A school, one of the best 3A schools in the state. You're a 2A school. That is good for your playoff run.
Oh, yeah.
Builds a lot of confidence for Coach Crosby and the boys. They'll line up with Dempsey left. They'll kick this one on the ground. Going to be picked up and caught at the 20. Come near side with it. Get to the numbers and be hit and out of bounds. Is going to be Ethan Dempsey as he slips on the mat here on the near side.
Yeah, they've got tarp on the side on the track. And when he hit that track, his cleats just went sliding. Good return there by Dempsey.
Officials come over there to get him out just to make sure there's no extracurricular activity, but we have a Bulldog down at around the 29 as they're helping him get up here. And that'll give us a timeout.
Well, that squib kick looks like that's going to be one of the linebackers. Nick White? He's walking off under his own power, helmet in hand.
Might have just knocked the air out of him there. Nick White, one of the seniors here for the team. He was honored on Senior Day, as it was Senior Day here, as you heard Mark say earlier.
Yeah, they honored cheerleaders, cross-country, band members, and football players.
Big number 72 sitting here, Elijah Shue, sitting with his shoe off, getting that right ankle taped up.
Shoeless Elijah Shue.
What did it?
Well, he's got one shoe on.
He's got one on. That right ankle getting taped up for Elijah Shue from the Atrium Trainers here.
Flag on the play.
Already, and we ain't even snapped the football yet. Probably 2 minute motion or something, or illegal formation.
Let's see. Illegal substitution.
On Robinson. So 12 men. They must have had 12 men on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I see 12. That's 12.
So I guess illegal substitution is 5, and illegal participation
15.
Is 15. Must be. At least that's the way they've assessed it in this game.
Yep.
If the play had gone and they had 12, they would have given them 15.
As they line up here with a 1st and 5 with the ball at the 45, they shift.
Yeah, they swap.
Wing back and tight end. Now they move Dempsey in motion from right to left. They give it to Dempsey. He finds a little seam just between the guard and tackle, and he gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
He was an arm tackle from about a 10-yard gain. When he stopped and came up the field, one of the big guys up front got an arm wrapped around him just enough to throw him off balance and get him down.
It was either Aiden Black or Elijah Stallings who was able to wrap him up. Big number 70 or 90 was the one that got the arm around
We called
Dempsey.
70's name a number of times. Black's had a pretty good game on that defensive line.
They're going to line up 2 to the left. Wingback lined up left to Aiden Smith. They move Regal, the receiver, to the right in motion. They give it to him who works left, and he gets about a half a yard.
He gets one, and Black comes up celebrating.
Black having a game up front. There was another young man we were calling the name of up front like last year, Denez White.
Yeah.
Playing just like him tonight.
Harding's checked back into the lineup as they check out Elijah Stallings. So they're getting trying to keep those guys up front fresh.
They give them a full yard there and move it up to the 46, so it's going to make it a 3rd down and 4 here. They got one receiver lined up left, jumbo package, 3 down linemen in front of the quarterback who appears to be Dempsey. They work it left with Dempsey. Not much happening there, and he'll get a yard.
I think they're going to give him 2, so it's going to be 4th down and 2 at the 47. No, excuse me, at the 48. Got to get to the 50 for the 1st down. 9.5 minutes to go. You probably got to go here.
You got to go for it. And you see Seidel talking to the side judge. She's talking to him about something on the near side. But the side judge is looking back. Now they line up again, power run. They got 3 down linemen in front of Dempsey. They're lined up to his right, and the timeout called on the far side of the field there from Coach Crosby. And this Robinson coaching staff is fired up.
A really big play here. If you don't make this, Robinson's got the ball with a 7-point lead on your side of the 50.
And them coaches came off this sideline on the near side. They were doing everything they could to get that defense fired up, and we were just going to a timeout. The score here, 28-21, 9-14. The Bulldogs on top of the Tigers. The Tigers have a huge 4th down here with the ball at their own 48, needing the 50 for a first down. They lined up to go for it here, trailing by 7. And we'll see if they're able to get the first down and keep this drive alive, or if the Bulldogs can step up and force a not a 4 and out, but a turnover on downs here and get the ball in positive territory. A timeout was taken there from head coach Daniel Crosby. That'll leave the Tigers with 2. The Bulldogs still have all 3 timeouts left here with 9:14 left in the ball game.
Now, we have not seen them throw out of this power formation yet. I think they do have a pass play out of this. You've got
We're going to line up Dempsey with 3 down linemen to his left. 1 receiver left. There is the snap. Dempsey runs a reverse. They're setting to pass it. They look deep. They throw it. There's the flag for PI, and it's going to be enough for the first down. As the defense was being covered there by Cameron Tucker, and he runs through the wide receiver.
The Mount Pleasant player sold it really well. I don't think it's pass interference, but he sold it really well. He was trying to come back for the ball. Tucker's got right to that position on the field, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. It'll be a first down inside the 40-yard line of J.M. Robinson. There was a lot of contact, and the receiver was not allowed to come back. But I think the receiver probably initiated most of the contact. The problem is Tucker did not see or know where the ball was.
He never saw it, never turned his head.
That's why they rewarded the offensive player on that.
I can't tell if it was an 84 or a 34 who was trying to make that catch, and it could even be a 24.
It may have been Kyle going down off the tight. In fact, it probably was the tight end coming off the line of scrimmage.
So that'd be Justin
But you see,
Kyle.
they had the man who threw the ball was the wide receiver who came back in motion.
They give it to Regal, who works left. He finds a seam, and Regal fights it inside the 30 all the way down to the 29, and a good run from Regal.
Got 9 on that one.
And we have an injured Tiger down in some severe pain, and that might be Regal. And if that's Regal, that's a huge loss.
Yeah, he's writhing in pain, flat of his back at about the 27-yard line. 9:02 to play. 2 timeouts left for the Tigers, 3 for J.M. Robinson. 28-21. Looks like he's up.
Can't see who it is, but they are at least up, walking off under their own power, limping.
Sometimes you get that first shot of pain, and then kind of it goes away.
And the way he's walking off there, I would think that it is Regal, favoring that leg.
Yeah,
he was that low.
It's likely the ball carrier. That's where he ended up.
Yep.
So second down and 1 now, James.
And he was hit low in the leg, so a second down and 1, as you say there, Mark. Looks like Aiden Smith is in there at the running back spot. He lines up to the right.
Black's looking at the sideline. I'm not sure if he's trying to change the call. 10 seconds on the play clock, and it looks like he's got what he wants.
Now he waits for the snap, gets it, hands it off to the ball carrier, who swarmed up in the backfield as they hand that one off to Michael Estevez.
Not much there.
Estevez goes backwards on that one.
Feeding time for the defense, boy. They just swarmed that one, and that's a big loss all the way back to the 32.
The Dogs came barking.
3rd down and 5, but you've got 2 downs to make the play. Tigers have played well. Tigers and the Bulldogs have played this game like we did. Punters don't exist. There have been a couple of punts for Mount Pleasant, but for the most part, everybody has been going for it on 4th down.
After the loss of 2, it makes it a 3rd down and 4 here. They're going to put trips to the right, wing back left. They shift Dempsey in motion from the slot right, goes left, gets the edge, fights forward, and he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, looks like he got it. Those plays, you've got to time those exactly right. If Dempsey turns up before the ball is snapped, turns up field, it's illegal motion. So he's got to make sure he's moving laterally. He's arcing back, and then he's kind of flattening it out. But he wants to be getting to the apex and then turning back into the line of scrimmage about the time the ball is snapped.
Ball at the 27. They shift the tight end from right to left and the wing back from left to right. They hand this one off to the ball carrier, who goes up the middle. He'll get it inside the 25 down to the 23. That's going to be back in there is now Regal again after getting the stinger He's back in there at the back spot. And
I think he's down hurt again. Is
Mount
it the
Pleasant? That
may be one of the linemen, though.
I think that's one of the linemen there, yeah. We have another Tiger down on the field with 7:16 left. 28-21 to score. The Bulldogs on top of the Tigers in the battle of 49. Mount Pleasant threatening to score with the ball.
This is the interconference championship. How's that?
Pretty much what it is. These two used to play back in the day. Haven't been in the same conference for what? Probably 3 or 4 years now.
Probably you could almost call this the Cabarrus County Championship. Although Northwest Cabarrus would have the kind of the odd man out on that one because they didn't beat Mount Pleasant.
They faced off.
Then we go to points differential.
Yes, we go to points differential at that point.
There is no such thing as a Cabarrus County Football Championship, but, we can talk about it.
It'd be great to say you won the county championship.
We can, Mac Brown for Carolina and all those people used to do, we're going to win our Big Four championship, and I think Dick Sheridan at NC State used to play some games like that. We're going to beat those 3 other teams and win the Triangle Championship and that sort of thing.
There is the snap. They give it off to Regal, and Regal goes nowhere as he is brought down at the original line of scrimmage.
Aiden Black, the first man to get up off that pile, too. Aiden Black's a hoss.
He is. He is making some damage up front. He don't have any weight or height on him, but he is definitely a big young man up front.
3rd and 6. You got 2 plays to make it.
And you were all the way up to a 2nd and 1. Now you're at a 3rd and 6. After 2 negative plays, pushes the ball back to the 24.
They got a defense, and they put fence. They spell fence with a C instead of an S.
As they line up here, 3rd and 6. There's the snap to Black. Pressure. He has to heave one. Throws it, and it's going to fall incomplete as he had to heave that one as he had pressure coming off that left side.
If he has a half second longer, the receiver breaks open, and that's a touchdown. Instead, now you got 4th down, and you have to go for it here with 6:14 left.
Nick White, the man that was banged up on the kickoff return, the one with the pressure there on Colin Black, able to get in his face and force that throw as he was looking far side of the field towards Dempsey, who couldn't get to it in time.
What you hope is the man bites on the running back, but that he didn't bite on. He went straight to the quarterback.
4th down and 6. There's the snap. Fakes to Regal. Again, right up the middle. He's got the man wide open. Far side of the field is Dempsey, and Dempsey's in there for the touchdown.
Wow. What is that, 23-yard touchdown, I believe?
23, yeah.
Wow.
And a throw from Black
under
to
pressure.
Dempsey.
He bought some time, and it's just a little wheel route. He comes out, turns up the field, comes down the sideline.
He bought some time, but it also helped as well, Mark, that the man coming in with pressure, Nick White, who brought it the last time, slipped a little bit once he got past that initial line, and that bought a couple more seconds as Nick was unable to keep his balance. And they're lining up to go for 2 here.
Go for 2 here. Put a little pressure on the Bulldogs if you can make it.
There's the snap, and they're set to throw. They go into the flat, and it's going to be caught, and he's in there for the touchdown. Well, 2-point conversion is good as they throw that one over to Regal, and Regal's in there. And now Mount Pleasant has their first
29-28
of the ball game here in the crowd.
I think what happened, the ball came loose as it was near the goal line. A Tiger recovered it, and the fans are unhappy. They wanted an incomplete pass.
But all it has to do is touch the first little bit of that goal line, and they say it broke it just enough.
They watched the NFL and college football to know, well, the ball was moving.
Yeah. If we were
and
watching
that
college,
it doesn't matter. It's what happens on the field of play in high school.
Speaking about what you just said there, the ball was moving. Were you watching the NFL game last night?
I was.
Oh, boy. So
I was at a college football game.
You were. That is right. So one of the players intercepted the football for the Jets. I think he intercepted or he caught a pass. I don't remember exactly what happened. No, it was a running back trying to score his first score of the game. He gets to the half-yard line. He's got it in his right hand, and he drops it before he ever gets in there. It rolls out of the back of the end zone and results in a touchback.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is wild as Mount Pleasant takes the first lead of the ball game, 29-28, 6:08, and this crowd here quiet on the Robinson sideline, but let me tell you what, it's not real quiet on that far side of the field.
plenty of time left. 6:08, 3 full timeouts for Robinson.
Kick. They'll give it to him short and take a knee right around the 36.
Good catch. Is that your quarter? No, it's not. That's number
Tyler
12.
Klutz. That's the tight end Klutz.
Klutz making a good job there of catching that football, and great field position at the 44.
That's not us. I'm sorry. We're on
44-yard line is where Robinson will start the drive here with 6:07. 1 second ticked off the clock. They wanted us to make an announcement, but we aren't the PA guys.
Yeah, they were.
What were they wanting us to announce?
16th birthday for one of the band members.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday, somebody in the band.
Yeah, happy birthday. That's all I could catch.
I could yell it real loud, but I don't think anybody hear it.
That's about all we can do is they line up trips left here, working right to left. Bisonet set to throw. Sees Rowe into the flat. He's in positive territory across the numbers, down the sideline, and he was shoved out of bounds. But if he would have stayed in bounds, he was going to the house.
37-yard lines where he stepped out of bounds.
Pushed
that
out.
Play, they respect him deep, and so he cuts off that little route to just kind of curling in, curling out, and then he gets it in space. I would throw that 10 times a game if I were Robinson.
Estevez, the one that pushes him out. This time they go to the ball carrier who keeps it a Bisonet, and he runs it inside the 30. He faked that handoff and pulled it out late in the belly there of L.J. Watson. And
just like that, they're inside the Mount Pleasant 30-yard line at the 29.
Already 2 plays.
Well, when you start at the 44, you got pretty good start on it.
Yes, you do. Ball at the 29, second down, and I'm calling it 2 here. They got 1 on the board, but I'm calling it 2. There is.
It looks like 2.
Handed off to L.J. Watson, who works right, finds a seam, gets towards the sideline, but he gets hit short of the numbers, and a flag flies in.
Coming. Are they going to call a horse collar?
They could do a horse collar or maybe a face mask. I'm not sure what the call's going to be.
I'm not sure. We'll see. They're going to.
But at the 20.
He pointed back toward Robinson.
They're currently inside the Pizza Hut red zone.
PizzaHut.com. Get you some pizza and wings. They'll bring you a big old Pepsi, too.
Yes, they will.
It looks like it's going to be against Robinson.
That's what it looks like. Robinson's
maybe it's a blocking
backwards.
penalty.
The
only thing I saw was maybe there was a personal foul face mask on the offense.
All right, so hands like up in the face and then a face mask on the offense. That's a costly penalty. Robinson
that play was close to a touchdown, but he got run down from behind. They slowed him down just enough.
Okay, it's a spot foul. It's like, how are they only getting a 5-yard penalty when they were up at the 30 and they move it back to the 35? So it was a spot foul here on that call. Moves the ball back to the 35, makes it a second down and about 7 for the Bulldogs now.
5:35 clock ticking.
They put trips left, 1 right. Rowe at the bottom. They crowd Rowe at the line of scrimmage. Bisonet gets it, gives it to Watson. Watson works left, gets through the first burst. Now
got a great block.
Second, gets a block, and he fights forward up.
Oh, they're going to flag the block, though. I thought it was a really good block, but they're going to flag it for peeling back. And
so a crackback block?
Block in the back, I think. I thought that was a pretty good block.
Block in the back, yeah. And the home crowd not liking the calls right now that are going against the Bulldogs. And that's going to be another 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's a.
And
it may just be 10. It may be a 10-yard block in the back. I thought he got his helmet in front of the shoulder pad, but.
So where they're going to say it was spotted from was right at the line of gain.
Yeah.
So let's see where they back it up to. It might make it a second down and 10 here. They're still walking it.
It looks like that's about what it's going to be.
Yep.
Second and 9.5. Second and 9 maybe.
Second 9. Long 9. Second to long 9.
Clock starting to run again. We'll go under 5 minutes probably with this play.
Mount Pleasant leads 29-28 right now in this ball game. They line up trips left, bunched. 1 far out right. Running back of Watson lined up to the left of Bisonet. Bisonet calls for it, fakes the handoff, throws into the flat to Rowe. Rowe turns it up, gets to the numbers at the 30. Now down the left sideline and takes a shot out of bounds as Stiles is able to hit him and shove him out at the 15, but inside the Pizza Hut red zone and enough for the first down.
got a good stiff arm that really kind of sprung him. He got just a hard stiff arm on one of the Tigers. Give the ball to Rowe in space if you're Robinson. That's a recipe to win. And then occasionally hand it off to that back just to keep the defense honest.
And so far, Brian Rowe having him a game. He's been carrying this team on his back so far this evening. They'll line up stacked receivers left, stacked receivers right. They go to Watson. Watson goes right up the middle, and he gets it up to the 10 before being hit and brought down. Clock continues to run with 4:40 left here, and right now, if you're Robinson, the clock is your friend.
Got an offensive lineman hobbled a little bit for J.M. Robinson. He doesn't look like he's coming out. It's Colin Felker, but he's favoring one of his legs, and it doesn't look like he wants to come out. They're looking to the sideline. Bringing the play in is Tyler Klutz.
The tight end.
Klutz got some speed. Strong player.
Klutz going to line up right side of the line of scrimmage. Stack receivers left, one to the right, and the jump on the defense there. That's going to give them 5 yards and put the ball up to the 5-yard line with 4:06 left here. And the clock now.
That'll be first and goal with 4:06 to play.
And the clock is 100% your friend if you're the Bulldogs at the 5 with 4 minutes left.
Well, it is when you get that ball in the end zone. Until then, it's not your ally.
To the ball.
Looks like look at 6-yard lines where they're going to mark it.
Yep, spotted at the 6.
Heck of a football game here tonight. Yadkin Valley champion Mount Pleasant Tigers, South Piedmont Conference champion J.M. Robinson Bulldogs. And
stacked receivers left, one right. Stacked is Rowe and Testa. There's the snap. They give it to Watson. Watson up the middle, and he's in there for the touchdown. And the Bulldogs take the lead with 3:43 left here.
Wow.
Fourth quarter. And a run right up the middle from L.J. Watson. What is that for him today? Is that his third?
Let's see.
I think it's his third.
Oh, 1, 2. I think that's his second.
His second. So
Bissonette's got a couple.
So that gives him his 17th touchdown on the season and his 16th rushing one of the year. They're going to line up in an odd formation here. See if they swing into it. And they're not. They're going to go for it. Bissonette keeps it. Rolls right, head towards the pylon. And John Bissonette in there for the 2-point conversion. As they don't close the gate and leave it with the swinging gate the way it is. And Bissonette answers with the 2-point conversion. The score 36-29, 3:43. The Bulldogs take the lead.
Wow, that's wild.
Mount Pleasant still 2 timeouts. The Bulldogs still with all 3. Plenty of time left on the clock for Daniel Crosby and the Tigers, but you have to strike on this drive.
Yeah, you do. You're running out of time.
So let's see if the Tigers can step up. And already, Mark, it's been a win for the Tigers today.
Oh, yeah.
Win or lose.
Yeah, you've got confidence. You know you can play against a really, really good team. You can play against a team that's got a lot of speed, a lot of skill players. The other thing is this helps you in your rankings. Your strength of schedule just takes a tremendous boost. I'm not sure. I think the strength of schedule may do okay for J.M. Robinson since they're a conference champ, but because it's a 2A instead of a 3A team, then it doesn't help as much as it would help Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant would jump huge. You would have to think Mount Pleasant will at least host 1 or 2 games.
Well, they'll go in as a conference champion, so they should get at least a couple games. You would hope.
At least a couple, you would hope. And there's the kick, a line drive that hits one of the players, and who's going to jump on it? There's a pile for the ball.
I think the Tigers got it back. Let's see.
They're going to
Initially, it went right straight to a Bulldog, but I think one of the
Tigers. And they're saying Robinson's got it.
No, they're saying Mount Pleasant's got it.
Mount Pleasant, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, when they dove at it, it bounced back toward the Tiger player, and he's able to get there and just wrestle the ball away. He's a big, strong blocker type up front that bounced off of him, but they're going to get it at the 50.
He kicked an absolute laser beam at that kid.
It wasn't intentional. He was intended to squib that down the field. I don't think he was intended to kick it at him.
I don't think he was either. They hit
But Mount Pleasant, after making after having your heart stop in your chest, they wind up with the ball at the 50.
So now you only got to go 50 yards and 3:40 with 2 timeouts here.
Yeah, this may come down to whoever has the football last.
They'll line up, trips to the right. Then they shift one of the receivers into the wingback spot left. They move Dempsey in motion, who gets it working right to left, and Dempsey will pick up a couple and get it up to the Robinson 48. But the clock continues to run under 3.5 here.
They haven't run the counter out of that play recently. I don't know if Robinson's just taking it away or if Mount Pleasant may be saving it.
2nd down and 8. Ball working off the left hash, left to right. They put 2 receivers left, wing back right.
Dempsey
Regal
may have one-on-one if he throws it.
fakes the handoff, throw into the middle. Going to be caught at the 40. It's enough for the first down.
Depends on where they mark it. Forward progress is going to be just short of the 40, I think.
At the 39, that one caught by Dempsey. Clock runs under 3 minutes left here. 2:50 left. Dempsey the one with the catch in the middle of the field. That's where the ball is spotted, directly in the center. Working left to right here. Ball 39 amount of Robinson. One receiver far out right. Jumbo package running to the right. They follow to the left. Dempsey in the backfield's grabbed. Makes the man miss. Still on his feet. Fight forward, and he gets the first down. And he almost got stopped in the backfield, Mark.
They were begging for a holding penalty as one of the Tigers got kind of caught up, and they did not get the call. But they did. Dempsey was able to kind of get out of that cluster and get just enough, about 2 yards for the first down.
2 receivers to the left. They hand this one off to Regal. Regal up the middle, and he fights it forward up to the 36. So a pickup of 4 there on first down from Regal. Clock now at 2 minutes left here. They put again 2 receivers to the left. Aiden Smith, the wingback, to the right. There's the snap. They give it to Regal. Now they give it to Aiden Smith. Smith finds a seam up the middle. He's inside the 30. Fighting forward, grabbed. He's got enough for the first down. Whistles blow when he's stopped at the 27 or 28.
Well, let's see.
Now flags coming in for some extracurricular.
I hope this is either offsetting.
And there's another one.
This should be offsetting, but Smith was.
Another one again.
They were trying to take the ball away. Smith was trying to move out of there, and then somebody said something to him as he comes away. Then the flag flies.
We've had 3 of them fly out there so far, Mark. We had one fly and
I'm
2
hoping
more.
we're getting offsettings on these, but there's no telling what this is going to be. We may have 2 or 3 penalties, maybe 2 on one and 1 on the other.
Yeah, I think Robinson might have a few more against them. I don't want to hope any bad luck on them, but I'm thinking there might be.
Well, the clock's running down. Mount Pleasant's trying to get out of there. They've blown the whistle. They're still tugging at the football, and you're trying to get out of there. And then that's when things started happening. Now, Smith came up. His arm was kind of pushing one of the guys back away, and that was about the time that the first flag came in.
So we have an official's timeout with the penalty as the 3 officials stand there and try to sort it out around the 20-yard line of Robinson. Mount Pleasant driving here, working left to right with 1:50 left, trailing by a touchdown here in the Battle of 49, and it's been a good one here so far, Mark, is Mount Pleasant went down 14-0 early, scored late to end the first half, scored to open the second half, and it's been a barn burner since.
Oh, it has. Tigers have led one time, 29-28. The Bulldogs have led most of the game, going back and forth. They had a 14-point lead after jumping out 14-0. When it hit 14-0, I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to, the Tigers are going to kind of fall behind in this one, but they didn't. They fought back. They got that touchdown late in the first half, got a miraculous stop in the end zone. Now we'll see what the officials go. They're coming over to the sideline to talk to Coach Crosby. I'm assuming somebody will come over here to Seidel and tell him what's happening. But
so I'm just throwing this out there, and I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm saying that right now because this is the broadcaster, and we all know how the jinx works. If Coach Crosby does find a way to pull this game off and win it, does he get a Gatorade bath like he did last week?
Oh, I think without a doubt. Seidel might get a Gatorade bath if Robinson would. So there's a hard-fought football game. Now, let's see. They're coming over to Seidel to give the explanation on the Robinson side.
Yeah, these 2 teams have beat the snot out of each other all night. It's just been a good old-fashioned slobber knocker of a football game here.
I think we may get offsetting penalties, but
the ball's right now spotted at the 29-yard line of Robinson, working left to right here, right in the middle of the field.
It should be a first down.
It should be.
They haven't moved the chains, but it's going to depend on whether or not all the penalties are dead ball.
Yeah, so we're waiting.
So it's going to be.
So dead ball, personal foul, unsportsmanlike Robinson. Dead ball, personal foul, unsportsmanlike Mount Pleasant. Offsetting.
Okay, that's the right thing to do here.
So they move the chains. Ball spotted the 29. 150 left. Ball spotted closer to the right hash compared to the left hash. They'll line up 2 receivers left. Wingback of Aiden Smith to the right. They actually line up trips left. Now they shift Regal out of the close receiver motion in there, and he gets the handoff, and he fights it forward, and he'll pick up 1 and get it to the 28, but the clock winds down to 1.5. Still a reminder, 2 timeouts left for the Tigers, 3 for the Bulldogs here with 1:30 left in the ball game.
Been the best ball game you and I have seen this season, I believe.
Yes, it has. As they run a little trick play, give it off to Aiden, and Aiden Smith runs it, and he gets it inside the 25.
That's that double handoff. They hand off sweeping right, and he hands it off to the man coming back to the left, and the left guy is the final ball carrier.
3rd down and 6 here. There's the snap. Takes the handoff. Set to throw. And he just out of the reach trying to get it to the intended target there, who gets collapsed on and is slow to get up.
Yeah, that was a late hit on the play. They didn't call it. Nick White, in coverage against the tight end, chopped his legs after the ball went past.
Looks like Aiden Smith, and now the home crowd stands up. They want it loud in here with 1:04. A 4th down and 6. They line up 2 to the left. Wingback of Aiden Smith to the right, and they put
timeout Tigers
to the left. And like you said, Mark, timeout Tigers. And a good timeout there from Coach Crosby.
Yeah, you don't get the first down, the game's over for all practical purposes. You might have been able to hang on to 2 timeouts and miraculously get it back with 10 or 15 seconds left, but it's very unlikely.
So a good call from Coach Crosby. Going to trust his offense here to go and get this first down. And this one right here, Mark, this could be one of the runs where you run that counter motion, you slip that tight end out, and you dump it off to him. You've had him biting on that run this whole series. This could be one, watch out for him to drop that tight end.
Well, I know J.M. Robinson is looking at Ethan Dempsey. They're like, we can't let Dempsey beat us in the pass game.
But they got to watch
the other thing is Kyle, the tight end, we've seen
Kyle.
his. Although, he might be an option, but they've used that a couple times. It may be that's on the radar for the Bulldogs. I think that if you're the Bulldogs, you got to watch screen. You got to stay at home. Don't let them beat you on any kind of counter or any kind of sweep. You've got to, set the edge and make sure that you get a good solid tackle.
And here we go for the ball game. The biggest play of the game so far, a 4th down and 6. They line up 2 receivers to the left. Aiden Smith, the wingback, to the right. Colin Black up there directing traffic. Regal to the left of the quarterback. He's set to throw. Looks down the middle of the field. Goes left side. Got a man and overthrows his intended target of Dempsey, and it falls incomplete.
Wow, that was he had him. He just didn't quite. He zipped it. He needed to kind of arc it, drop it down a little bit. The defender never let him get behind him. And a good defensive play for J.M. Robinson. They had pressure on the quarterback. Now, barring just something really bizarre, this game is over.
Yeah, and Robinson's going to survive. But Mount Pleasant gave it everything they had here.
That was a 4th down pass. The going to about the 2-yard line, I believe, is about where it was. And it looked like he was open if he could have set his feet and throw it. But he had to just really fire the ball because he had a guy just getting ready to level him.
And as he got rid of it, he overthrew Ethan Dempsey, who couldn't quite get up there and make the catch. And now the offense for the Bulldogs takes over with the ball at their own 24-yard line with 59 seconds left, leading by 7.
This looks like victory formation. So you take the shotgun snap because that's what they're used to. You hold it for a second or two, then you take a knee.
There is a snap to Bisonet. He takes a knee back at the 20, and the clock runs and a timeout called here from Coach Crosby.
Yeah, because you want to make them snap the ball. That's the only chance. If they make a bad snap, then you got. We have not seen a bad snap all day for J.M. Robinson. It's highly unlikely that they'd have one, but if you snap the ball 70 times, there's a chance that that 71st time it might not be a good snap.
You got that right. We saw one earlier today that hit the helmet of Colin Black, but Regal was there to scoop it
scooped it off
bounce.
His helmet, yeah.
So we've seen one for them during this whole game.
But even if you have a bad snap, you got two guys in the backfield right there that could fall on it because you got one man deep. That's the Pasarjic rule where they hand off Philadelphia and fumble it and it went all the way back for the touchdown. That's why you always see that safety back for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that that gave the win to, was it the Saints?
That sounds right, yeah. The Saints. Testa, the one that's playing safety here for.
And he's back at the 10-yard line. The line of scrimmage is like the 23.5.
Snap in the hands of Bissonette. He takes a knee back at the 19, and the clock runs.
And they'll kind of hem and haw a little bit and try to get this down to the 40-second mark and then mark it ready for play. No, they've already marked it, so they'll have to snap it one more time.
Yep. Clock under 40, one snap. It'll do it. Play clock under 30. And the Bulldogs are going to survive, but nothing to hang your hat on if you're a Mount Pleasant Tiger on the far side of the field. As you gave the Bulldogs all they could handle as we await the final snap. There it is in the hands of Bissonette. Takes a knee. Clock runs. Bulldogs win.
Wow, what a great game here. 36-29. J.M. Robinson with the win, and just a tremendous ball game here. It's, like I say, the best ball game you and I have seen all season long.
Yeah, phenomenal game. These two teams
no
left
turnovers, very few penalties.
And they played a smart football game. Both teams did. And it shows how much this battle of 49 means to both of these schools right here. They left everything they had out there on the field. And we talked about it pregame. We thought the Tigers came in here as an underdog by 2 scores. They come out of here losing by 7. And they gave everything they could to this Robinson defense, offense, everything they could. And they fell just a little bit short on that 4th down and 6 play where it went over the head of Ethan Dempsey. But tell you what, if you're Coach Seidel, are you a little bit nervous after having 2 battle-tested games, one against a 2A school?
No. What? If I'm Seidel, here's what I think. And Northwest is a 3A. Northwest is a good 3A team.
Yep.
What you know is you beat a good football game 2 weeks in a row. You beat 2 football teams with close games. You got your players to play a full game, and you got their attention. Sometimes when you roll up scores 83-0, 49-7, whatever all those scores were, you don't always have the attention of the players. With these 2 close games going into the playoffs, they know that if they don't play well, they don't stay focused. There are teams who can beat you.
Yeah, and you could be knocked out early into the playoffs as a team that many talked about as being a team that was going to be fighting for that 3A state championship.
I think that's definitely a team. I haven't. This is like I say. This is the first time I've seen them in person. I would like to see them throw the ball more downfield. I don't know if they have the capability to throw it downfield. Just once or twice a game, just let it go 40 or 50 yards, just so that those safeties can't keep sucking up. But, Mount Pleasant is a good defensive team.
Phenomenal.
Good defensive team, and you put up still 36 points against them. That's something. Now you gotta worry about Mount Pleasant played bully ball a couple of times here and just said, okay, we're going to keep going for it, and they pounded the Bulldogs up front a few times, and a couple of times it was not so much as pounding as they overran plays. They got sucked in, like on the Dempsey touchdown. They got sucked in instead of maintaining their edge. So everybody's got to be focused. Okay, if my job is to set that edge, I've got to set that edge. I can't get sucked in and try to make a play when somebody else that's their responsibility.
Yeah, like you said, you gotta stand your ground. And then at the same time, if you look at this, Mark, the most points they gave up heading into this game was 10.
Yeah.
Tonight, Mount Pleasant puts up 29. You gave up 19 more points than you've given up all year.
That's likely. That's about what is that, about what they gave up in all of conference play?
Yeah, pretty much.
They gave up 10 to Northwest. I think Concord got a touchdown.
7 to South Rowan, 7 to West, 0 to East, and Concord got a touchdown.
Yeah, so it just about that many points in this one night against, of course, you played a conference championship. It's on the NFHS Network. The fans asking us that they videotaped the game, and I'd imagine they videotaped it too, and there'll be some huddle highlights on Max Preps. We'll see those. But a really good ball game. Let's give you a scoring recap real quick before we get out of here. We'll give you our sponsors as well coming up. Scoreless first quarter. Then Brian Rowe took a punt 60 yards with 10:06 left in the first half. Rise Zabo with the kick, 7-0. J.M. Robinson scores 6 minutes later on Bissonnette's 37-yard touchdown run after a nice drive. Zabo with the kick, 14-0. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, danger time for the Tigers. Well, the Tigers in the last 4 minutes take it down the field. Colin Black goes to Ethan Dempsey, a 4-yard pass play. Sellers with the kick with 15 seconds left. It's 14-7, and surprisingly, we weren't done for the half. A kickoff return, a couple of penalties, and then a throw in the end zone on the last play of the half was intercepted by Mount Pleasant, but it was a jump ball down the corner. That could have been a Bulldogs touchdown. It was not. Tigers get the opening kickoff of the second half, and then Dempsey, a 15-yard run, caps the opening drive. 8:30 left in the third quarter. We're all tied 14-14. 4 minutes later, Watson, 2-yard run, capping off a drive. This one came after there was a penalty. They had kicked the field goal to take a 17-14 lead. There was a personal foul against Mount Pleasant. During the play, they take the 3 points off the board. Watson goes in for the score. Zabo with a kick, 21-14. Mount Pleasant answers. Ethan Dempsey, a 13-yard run, again after a Tiger drive, 1:24 left third quarter. Sellers' kick made it 21-21. A couple of minutes later, Bissonnette, a 2-yard run. Zabo the kick. It's 28-21, J.M. Robinson. Mount Pleasant, then midway through the fourth quarter, marches down the field. On fourth down, Colin Black to Ethan Dempsey, 23 yards. Then a pass play for a 2-point conversion. I believe it was Dempsey who caught that one.
Yep.
29-28 at that point, 6:08 left in the fourth quarter. But J.N. Robinson would not be denied. They got the ball, marched down the field. Watson with a 6-yard run. Bissonnette on the old swinging gate. They didn't swing it closed. They just snapped it to him, and he ran to the pylon for 2, 36-29. Mount Pleasant avoids disaster on the kickoff. One of the up men got hit with a kick. It bounces back. Looked like Robinson was going to recover it, but he fought back, got it. Tigers get the ball at the 50. They drive inside the 30-yard line. We have flags flying everywhere after a first down play for the Tigers, offsetting dead ball, unsportsmanlike conducts after a little bit of a delay, and everybody caught their breath. Come back to play. Tigers get a first down, and then they're looking for their final first down of the game. This is about a minute, a little over a minute to play.
Yeah, about a minute 4.
4th down and 6. Heavy pressure. Black back to throw. Fires toward the goal line. Ethan Dempsey at the 2-yard line. The ball sails over his head. Good play for the defender there. Had good position. Dempsey couldn't run back any further to get it. It falls incomplete. The Bulldogs take a knee, and they run this one out 36-29. It's J.M. Robinson, undefeated on the regular season and headed into the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a great game. We talked about it pregame. We thought that it was going to be a 14-point win for the Bulldogs, but instead the Bulldogs jumped out to that early 14-point lead, and then Mount Pleasant battled back to tie this ball game up and gave them all they could handle all the way up to the final minute in this game. And if you're Coach Daniel Crosby on the far side of the field, you have nothing to be upset about. Nothing. You put the most points up that anybody's put up against this Robinson team. You battle-tested them to the absolute last minute. You played a great football game against them. This is a 3A school. You're a 2A school. You are already a conference champion, so you know you're hosting playoffs. If you can hang with a team like this, you're going to make a deep run into the playoffs over there.
And if you're on the flip side, the J.M. Robinson Bulldogs got a lot of heart. They had faced adversity. They went down. I don't think they had trailed all season long. Maybe Northwest jumped out ahead.
I think Northwest jumped out ahead there to start it.
But they bounced back late in the fourth quarter. Calm, just go down the field, businesslike. They played good defense on that last possession. And, I don't know who the corner was against Dempsey, but he played him perfectly. Dempsey's running down. He kind of brackets him so he can't run past him. And the ball was going to have to be dropped into a bucket for him to catch it, and he still might have had a play on it. It may have been Tucker that was on the play. I'm not sure. But the play down on the goal line, that turns into an incomplete turnover on downs, and you seal the victory. But lots of good things for both teams on this one tonight.
Yeah, a lot of good things. And like you said, battle-tested now, the Bulldogs are. They've been battle-tested back-to-back weeks. Now you're heading into a bye week. You think you might be able to take it easy, but I bet you Coach Seidel's not taking it easy after a game like that where they were battle-tested.
You get healthy, you fine-tune, you look and correct mistakes that you made, and then you build those guys up. You might do a little bit of critique, but you want them very confident and hungry as they go into the playoffs.
And like you said, a very good played football game between these two teams. They played sound football. There were a couple of mistakes on both sides of the ball.
But nobody turned the ball
major.
over. Yeah, so it's just minor things.
Exactly.
Things that have been cleaned up.
No turnovers. They really didn't have to punt the ball much, either one of the teams. Very few penalties. So it was all in all, a very sound game on both sides of the ball for both teams. So there's a little bit to build on, but not a ton. And when it becomes playoff time and it's 1 week and you're done, 1 week and you're done, 1-0, you're going to play games like that a lot. And being battle-tested here this week against Mount Pleasant, I think, is really going to help the Bulldogs in the playoffs. And I think that's just going to make the Tigers on the far side of the field hungry heading into the playoffs.
Absolutely. 36-29, J.M. Robinson over Mount Pleasant. An outstanding football game here tonight at the Bulldogs Stadium in the shadow of Mount Trashmore and Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Right there.
Closing comments before we get out of here.
My quick closing comment is, actually, hold on. Do we get an update on the victory bell? We
did. A.L. Brown wins again. I believe the final score was 31-14. John Von Cannon had sent that to us. Let's see what John.
I'm sorry.
31-14, the final there. The Spiders had jumped out to a 14-0 lead. A.L. Brown scores the final 31 points in that ball game to come away with the win. They've won the victory bell. What's that, 11 in a row now?
I think it's 11 in a row. Sorry, I just wanted to get that one in there. Final thoughts real quick on this one are great game, both teams. Nobody's got anything to hang their hat on. Both teams got something to build on. Go into the bye week, get healthy, get ready to go. You got a spare week. Neither one of these teams are playing next week because of the pushback of the playoffs. So get healthy, get ready to head off into the playoffs. I'm excited for playoff football. I'm excited for next week. Great game. Best one me and you have called all year.
Absolutely.
So,
well, tonight's ball game has been brought to you by Ben Monty, benmonty.com, by the Independent Tribune, Cabarrus County's newspaper, by Wilkinson Funeral Home in Concord, by the Southern Christmas Show coming up just in a couple of weeks, Carolina Renaissance Festival, weekends Saturday and Sunday over there on the Cabarrus-Mecklenburg County line. That runs through November 24th. Your Carolina Pizza Hut, pizzahut.com. And Cannon Pharmacy, home of free delivery. Well, this one was a good one. Final score was J.M. Robinson 36, Mount Pleasant 29. For James Red Melick, I'm Mark Plemmons for Radio Free Cabarrus and 485 Sports. And from everybody here at J.M. Robinson, again, always great hosts. We love being here at J.M. Robinson. And again, the final 36-29, Robinson over Mount Pleasant. Good night, everybody.